testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text STAPLE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text STAPLE to 321-321. That's STAPLE to 321-321.
The NFL, San Antonio's Sports Center.
Dallas Cowboys began training camp with Jerry offering the State of the Union. He, Stephen Jones, and Mike McCarthy offered their opinions on the season to come. With deals with Dak, CD, and Micah looming, Jerry spoke. You'll hear it all today on San Antonio Sports Star. The Houston Astros return to action after the day off. They'll welcome the Los Angeles Dodgers into Minute Maid, first pitch at 7:10. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody. Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your old pals in the driver's seat. Well,
For the last time this seat for a minute.
Well, hopefully you're in the driver's seat. If you're counting on us to actually drive the car, you're in real
Well, you could have a Tesla.
shambles right now.
You could have a Tesla.
You
Somebody else
could.
be driving. I know your car probably has the thing where you can take your hand off the wheel.
It does, but then after a while it says,
Yeah, I had the same.
drive your car.
But it's
Quit being
handy.
lazy. Drive
Let me
your
tell you,
car.
but do you use it? I use mine.
I don't use it.
Dude,
No.
I do. I trust it. I use it in traffic. I'll reach over and grab a drink.
You know what I get mad about? I get mad that my car likes to bitch at me about using my blinker. It's like I try to I'm driving in the middle of the night to get to work, and it's like I start to pull over into the other lane, and then it like tries to yank me back and is like lane departure.
I turned that off. You and I run on the same operating system.
Yes.
But I turned that little thing off. That drove me crazy. I couldn't have that.
Yeah.
Now, there's other things about the lane departure stuff and the sign recognition and all that stuff that I enjoy, but that I had to turn it off, man. Because evidently I'm not as good a driver as I thought, at least according to their parameters.
Yeah.
It's always mad at me and yanking the wheel.
I know. But you know what? We'll drive you into work, through your ears. You're going to have to actually hold on to the wheel and stuff. But we'll get you there.
You got me on the earwig. That new Twister song, that Luke Combs Twister song, stuck in my brain.
I haven't heard it.
I don't want you to.
Okay, then I won't. I won't search it out.
It's like watering those little beasts after midnight. Once you do it, you can't stop.
It's a bad call.
It's a bad call.
Yeah, I haven't heard it. You were talking about it yesterday.
I heard it again this morning.
Like what's your listening on the way in? What do you go with?
Normally I'm listening to either the sound that's been cut by overnight by either Edwin or James or whatever. I didn't need to this morning because I heard it all yesterday. So this morning I was listening to music.
Okay. Every once in a while I'll come in and I'll hear you. If we get it in at the same time, your music is usually blaring.
Yeah,
when you get to work.
I jam. If I have music on, it's not quiet.
No.
And
you rock out.
And in the morning, I need it.
That's what hypes you up.
Yeah, I have a very because my God, it's so early. But yeah, I have a sense that the residents close to our studio know what my musical tastes are. And this morning, man,
Well,
No
I
wind in
hope it's
Oklahoma.
not your musical taste. I hope it's like a random shuffle because
It is because
I've heard you come in listening to Kenny Loggins really loud.
I'll
and I'm
jam
like,
to some Kenny.
you know?
Don't discount the magic that is Loggins and Messina.
yeah.
Not Loggins alone. I mean, Loggins alone is night and day. But you add Messina to that little mix, that's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The sum was greater than its parts.
Yeah. It's yeah, Kenny Loggins. I don't know if there's any Kenny Loggins that I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to hear today. But I've
Caddyshack.
I don't judge you.
The theme song from Caddyshack, I guarantee you. I'm all right.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a jam. You cannot not listen to that.
I mean, you can.
It's not really not that hard.
You can't. I find a way not to.
I'm all right.
I find a way not to somehow. There's a group called the Bloodhound Gang that was popular like when I was in high school and shortly thereafter. And they have a quote that says, or there's a lyric that says, like a Kenny Loggins record, no one's ever gonna hear you. Like a game of hide and seek, it's all over when I see you.
I'm not gonna let you sit here and badmouth.
Hey, what to each their own. I mean, I'm happy that that Kenny Loggins makes you happy. We've got a fun show for you today. We've got a lot of sound, a lot of audio.
Or did you catch it later? I didn't catch it live.
I didn't catch it live either.
I'd like to have.
That was in my nap time.
Yeah, mine too. And I wish I had caught it live because I would like to have gotten a sense of the crowd. Was it an angry crowd? Because I get the snips of the questions. It felt like it was a pretty amenable group. I mean, they're asking rather pointed questions, but it didn't seem like they
suck on that all week.
That didn't seem like they were hammering them.
The Brigade Bar is all saying that Jerry Jones sounded like Joe Biden.
Well, they are of an age.
Well, yeah. So maybe now it's going to be like, oh, this guy thinks Dak can win a Super Bowl. He's not fit to run this ship anymore.
Yeah, well, or it's the other way around. Just hand him the pen. Maybe he'll sign the contract.
Your definition of what is all in and mine might not be the same thing.
I don't think it is.
It's they catch Jerry Jones. He's about to hug Jalen Hurts, and they say, Jerry, that's not Dak. And he's like, oh. Oh, I hope that's not the case. I hope that Jerry Jones is still all with it. But the sound yesterday wasn't promising that he is. But we'll listen to some of it, and some of it sounds like it's the stuff that you want to hear if you're a Cowboy fan, and some of it's. I'll say this: we've also got some sound from Dak Prescott that is going to fire some people up. The team, there's going to be some, like with everything with Dak, I think we're split about 50-50 in this town from what I've seen. We've seen people who are like, that we got to sign Dak up. He's the man, or it's time to let Dak go. Whatever side you're on, you're going to be fired up because Dak says,
I heard Jerry
maybe
say,
I ain't going to be around here.
And I heard Jerry say, there's some deals I just couldn't afford.
Since
I heard
when?
him say that.
Boy, he doesn't like to admit that.
I'm telling you. He is not going to sign. It is not going to happen.
I think you're right. I'm in the team that says if you don't believe that he's going to win you a Super Bowl, then move on.
Fine. Put the for sale sign up and start looking.
And it hurts for a while, but there's some things you just got to make it happen. Speaking of, I don't think he's going to win. Edwin got really, really high last night and sent out a list of teams that he thinks can win a national championship in college football.
I think he's more right than you do.
I'm telling you guys.
I think you are a bitter and myopic college football fan.
I think I'm a realistic college football fan.
I don't think
you're a dreamer.
I think you're a fatalist. I think you look at the your glass is half full this morning. I don't think you're an optimist by any stretch.
Well, so you're saying my glass is half empty.
Did I? Well, half.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not an optimist.
I can tell by your.
I think that the recent changes to college athletics only make it more of a short list of teams that can actually make something happen. I think the money that gets floated around and the way teams have shuffled, the conference shuffling makes it more difficult for some teams who maybe had a path before, who have less of a path. Like there's teams who were the best team in their old conference and are now
But you don't have to be anymore. I think we're going to have a very valid conversation as to who should really be all in on this and who shouldn't. Because by what you're saying and what you're looking at, a lot of these conference decisions were very poor and they're getting a paycheck, but no benefit.
Yes,
there is no future.
I think most of them are getting a paycheck, and there's a future. It just doesn't involve national titles.
Well, there are schools intent on that, and I will agree that on this list, there are schools that understand they're never going to be title contenders, but there's a lot that you discount that I think are everyone will have an opportunity. I come to it from a basketball point of view, and that same idea was floated when they went from 32 to 48 to 64, that, it's going to be hard now, man. It's so spread so thin that no, we've had plenty of competition, and now it's the way you coach that's going to matter too. You're going to have teams that are coaching to get hot late. You don't necessarily have to win early. You don't have to win your conference, and then you only got 3 games to win the tournament. I think that the door is open for more schools than it's ever been.
And at the end of the day, in college basketball, even, it's still the same old teams winning every year from the same old conferences.
No, it's not.
You can get to the Final Four now. Like every once in a while, you'll get a team who gets to the Final Four, and it's like, oh, wow, that's a nice run by them. But
UConn is back from the dead. They were gone. Nova was a flame that's now flamed out, it appears. I mean, there are some blue bloods, just like in college football, but there are always the upstarts. Baylor is a school that was not part of this elite crew 10 years ago. Now they're a blue blood.
Yeah.
I think that the basketballization of football is a good thing because it will open the door.
But I don't believe it's happening. You think it's happening.
I
don't.
The NIL will spread talent thinner because everybody can go buy one star. Everybody can afford one of them. You know, you can put all your eggs in one basket. The transfer portal allows for immediacy of improvement. You can change the fortunes with 15 dudes over the summer with one wealthy benefactor. So I think the door's open. I do.
I think there's a discussion to be had there because I believe like the teams like Texas who are hoarding.
I'm not saying it's not going to be, you're storming the castle. I mean, you're coming up on some blue bloods. It's not going to be easy, but I do think that there's more opportunity. I can't wait to hear what the Brigade Bar has and what people have to say on this, because I do think while UTSA is not anywhere near a championship hunt, they're in a position to get themselves in the tournament. And that's really, at the end of the day, all you're going to be chasing from now on. Just get to the tournament and be hot in December. And then you never know.
I think a lot of the teams on that list are going to be excited that they made it to the tournament.
Well, yes, and not all of them will ever win, but one of them eventually and sooner than later will.
Okay. I'm going to give you my list. When this discussion started, we were talking about in the next 20 years. I think that's a reasonable time frame.
I think it is because there's some generational things in play here.
Yeah. Do you think this team can win a title in the next 20 years? I think there might be like 8 programs that win titles in the next 20 years. And I think that might be generous. So I think it's just I think there's a fandom that goes in that everybody likes to think, well, now it's opened up and now my team's got more of a chance than they did. But I don't know. I think if you're not the kind of program that was winning in the old model, it ain't getting any easier. It's like Oregon is a great example to me. Oregon's never won a thing in our lives, Rob, but everybody still thinks
they've won everything they could.
Oregon's Gonzaga of college basketball. Yeah, they're right there. But for whatever reason, they can't get over the hump and actually win a title. Why not? I don't know. Could be because they play in they
were playing in a flawed system for a long
conference.
Oh, they're playing in a flawed. I'm not defending Oregon, but the system itself was flawed. I mean, the votes, the guaranteed ends on some of it was a flawed system for a long time. Now, I'm not saying that they would have ever won it. I'm not. But what I am saying is they have as good or better opportunity today than they did with the Pac-12. Now all you got to do is in the Big Ten, you win 8 games and look pretty doing it. You're in the tournament.
But getting in the tournament now where some teams are going to have to win 4 games to get through the tournament.
Yes. I'm not saying it's going to be a regular thing. What I am saying is it's opening the doors to some schools that might not have ever even had the chance. And coaches now just got to get hot and hope for something good.
See, I think that's the fundamental difference between us is you believe like, well, now there's going to be a G5 school in the
no, I don't think
tournament
so.
every year.
I'm talking about I think the champions are going to be coming from the Power 5 schools. I do. I don't think if you're not in the even most of the ACC, if you're not SEC, Big 10, and Big 12, and they're even to a bit of you're out of luck.
I think the Big 12's out of luck.
Well, I think they're going to have some opportunities, but there's going to be a void filled.
I'll go ahead and place that wager now. The Big 12 will win 0 football titles in the next 20 years.
I think you're going to see an improved football conference. I don't think they're going to be quite, but when you add in some of the West Coast talent that doesn't want to play in the snow, that doesn't want to play in the SEC, I think the Big 12 is going to improve its quality. I think it's going to be a quarterback conference, an offensive conference that every couple of years is going to have an offense that nobody can stop. I think that's going to be their plan because they get to play in good weather. The rest of the, SEC is a knife fight and the Big 12 is, same thing. But I think if you're inside those conferences, those schools that are traditionally pretty consistent, but always have an issue with internal issues, they never can get out of their conference. They're always the runner-up and never could have gotten in the playoff. But if they didn't have to face that team, at least not until a title, and beat them.
We'll have a big discussion about that. We'll talk about some of the trades. Already the trades are going in Major League Baseball.
And it's the games of the 33rd Olympiad.
USA.
Stand tall, America.
USA, we're ready, baby. It's time. So we'll talk some Olympics and a list of the top 25 players of this century that we were discussing before the show. And there's a guy who I think that the entire world is too high on, which maybe that's a me problem, but I'm pretty sure it's not. But we'll talk about that.
You're about to poke a bear. You know that, right?
I don't care.
All right.
Whatever.
Roar.
Whatever. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1.
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's pretty nice, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
If there's one sale I'm always going to shop, it's Kohl's Friends and Family Sale. I just saved an extra 25% because I spent $75. But even if you spend less, you can still save with 20%. And Kohl's has everything you need for summer fun. I got a cute dress for myself, a casual polo for my husband, and a Ninja Creamy that we can't wait to use. Oh, and I earned Kohl's Cash. Ah, Kohl's. Your friends and family sale never fails me. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. Offer ends July 28th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes 100% of odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Hey everybody, it's Joe Reinagel from The Blitz. I cannot tell you how happy I am with my brand new Connecticut Quality Water Softener. Had it in my house now for about 2 weeks, and the difference it is making is just unbelievable. You know, Connecticut's been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. Their products are made in America, and you live in San Antonio in South Texas, a water softener, it's a must. And Connecticut is the absolute best, up to 80% more efficient than competing models. Simple design, fewer moving parts, and in fact, you don't plug it in. No plug-in at all. It does not run on electricity. It only works when you need it to work. And right now, if you've been thinking about a Connecticut quality water softener in your home, Connecticut is going to let you try one for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. All you have to do is give them a call, 656-PURE, 656-7873, or ConnecticutSA.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Do. Oh, I got a punch. Morning Huddle 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. That way I got the punch in, and then I got to jam out after.
You do, man. You jam on the one.
Yeah.
You hit it.
Now, if you came in, you drove into the parking lot playing that.
Oh, no, I didn't. That's
feel
too much for that early.
I mean, now you're talking. Now we're going to have a good show, baby.
No, you can't lead with that. You got to build to that.
Now we're going to have a good show. One of my favorite things ever happened today. I love when this happens. A new angle of 9/11 happened, and now the conspiracy theories have started all over again. Have you seen this?
You know what? I have, but I didn't realize what I was seeing. Because I thought I was seeing a joke. I thought I was seeing a parody about that camera angle about it. Yeah, I thought that this was some kind of manufactured, something that had been recycled, but this is real. This
I
is
think
new
so,
and real.
Yeah.
right.
So, yeah, be ready. Be ready. Because they're coming.
I love a good conspiracy theory. I
do too.
But I'm a firm believer that secrets cannot be kept. The old mob saying that 3 can keep a secret if 2 are dead is I'm a firm believer in that. People talk. There's everybody squeals. Everybody eventually. You can't keep it under wraps. It always comes out.
Yeah, we're not capable of that.
No, we're just
as
not capable of
humans.
keeping it. So, especially from 40 years ago, 50 years ago, the older ones, and we're at 23 years. You don't think somebody wouldn't have spilled it by now?
You can't trust anybody.
You can't. That's why the secret would have come out.
All right, let's take a look at this list. This top 25 list
of
the basketball players.
The difficulty with these lists, I've always found there's not a problem with being equal in different ways. You know what I mean? We get stuck in some of these things. Now, there's some glaring problems with this list. Glaring. But for the most part, the top 5, yes.
And depending on what order you want them in, I do think there's a lot of ways. Like, okay, you want to switch this around, I'm fine with that. But I don't know. I want to hear where you're like way off the market on this. So ESPN's top 25 players of the 21st century. The one that jumps out to me, and I agree with, and I almost think it's undisputable that the top 5 should be the top 5.
Yes, and in no particular order. I'm not going to quibble with any of it.
I think that whatever you think of LeBron and where he stacks up to Michael Jordan, I think LeBron is the best player of the 21st century. I don't see much argument against it.
Yeah.
So LeBron being number 1 is the one that I would say is like most, unless you're like some bitter, angry hater, chances are good that you've got LeBron number 1 on your list. 2 through 5, I think you can shuffle, and I didn't like their shuffle was different than what my shuffle would have been. They have Kobe Bryant number 2, Steph Curry 3, Tim Duncan 4, Shaquille O'Neal 5. My list would say Tim Duncan 2, Steph Curry 3, Shaquille O'Neal 4, Kobe Bryant 5.
Wow. Again,
I'm of the belief, and now you are, you were living this where the Spurs and the Lakers were basically battling in the playoffs every year. You were seeing it all.
Yeah, Kobe to me was the preeminent competitor. He was the Death Star. He was what the Spurs woke up in the morning looking for, and then how the season ended every year involved with the Lakers and Kobe. Shaq played a role, certainly. I mean, they were dual threats. But
you believe that Kobe was the best player on that team?
Kobe was the heart. No, I didn't say that. It's 1 and 1A. But when I look back in my memory of those Laker teams, Shaq was the immovable object, and Kobe was the unstoppable force. I mean, it was there was no one better than the other. But I feared Kobe. I feared him. I mean, you had to. So I get why, while there was some, the end of his career and a lot of stuff kind of, and then the way he passed, and you get kind of rose-colored glasses. But in the thick of it, for 5 years, 6 years, there was no better player ever in my mind. I mean, he could get 40 every night, and there was nothing you could do about it. And there's been a lot of guys since then. I put him there. But at the same time, I watched Tim beat him regularly.
Yeah.
So it's, that's why I look at this top 5 now. Steph is on the other side. To me, Steph is the 5th of the 5.
And
we would shuffle all the others underneath LeBron. And I wouldn't really have a problem if you had Shaq over Tim, or Kobe over Tim, or Tim over Shaq. All those guys were just remarkable. I just don't think Steph had it as tough. That's the only thing. I'm not discounting his greatness. I just don't think he had to go through what he had to go through. Was not the same that Tim and Shaq and Kobe and that group of that era. I think it was a little bit tougher.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
Kevin Garnett 6, Nikola Jokic 7, Dwayne Wade 8, Kevin Durant 9, Dirk 10. The thing that jumps out to me there is Kevin Durant feels low on this list, and maybe it's, and I don't think it's like it's recency bias because Kevin Durant's an old player at this point, but Kevin Durant's done a lot in this league, a lot of scoring in this league for a lot of years, and has been I mean, I guess until the rise of Steph, was the preeminent offensive player in the league. Does that feel like
he's Carmelo with a title?
Ooh, okay. I feel like he's a better player than Carmelo, but
he's an offensive cheat code, and he murked his way to a title. Carmelo just chased the money.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
I'm not discounting either one. I love Kevin Durant. Top 10, that's about where he belongs. I mean, he's had some seasons where there were great expectations and his team sucked balls. I mean, Brooklyn, Phoenix last year, I know a lot of times he's been hurt, but
yeah,
I think 9 at the end of the day right now is where he belongs. But I do get the sense, AJ, that as time passes, I think Durant's name is going to float to the top. Not all the way to the top, but
yeah.
will rise a
so
couple
too.
of notches the further and further we get away from what Durant was, and we forget about some of the last 5 years, and we'll remember what he did at OKC and especially the glory year at Golden State and stuff like that. But right now, 9's about right.
Well, I also think as time goes on, he's going to, much like LeBron, his career is going to be long enough where you're going to see him start to pass names on the all-time scoring list.
Right.
And you're going to go, oh,
yeah.
Really? For instance, I would venture that by this time next year, Kevin Durant's going to be at a minimum, the 5th all-time leading scorer, if not the 4th all-time leading scorer. And he's really he's in range of Michael Jordan for, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
It is, and it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, there's one thing we know about him is he's truly a hooper. I mean, he lives to play ball. The other stuff kind of got in the way, but he's a baller. And I wouldn't be surprised in his heart of hearts he hadn't looked at Michael's number and going, you know what, 5 more years of this, and I might be able to do it because I am a bit of a cheat code. Might be able to catch Michael.
And I was wrong. Yeah. I don't know that he can. I don't know if he can get to top 5 that quickly.
Oh no.
He's right now. He is about 3,500 points from being the 5th leading scorer of all time.
About 5 years, 4 years.
You think so?
He gets 82 games.
I mean,
offense.
He's at 29,000 now.
Yeah, how much do you need? 35.
He needs 35,000.
Sorry, you won't get it.
He'll
get close.
Well, he needs 33,000 to be top 5. You don't think he'll score 4,000 more points?
That's a lot of points, man.
I mean, it's 1/7 of what he's done in his career so
a
far.
lot of points.
He sits at 8th on the all-time list. So he's already ahead of Shaq. The next guy up on the list is Wilt Chamberlain.
Oh.
So he'd pass Wilt, Dirk, and Jordan would be the next 3 on the list.
In rare air.
I don't think but he's at 28, 9, 24 through 1,061 games. If he ends up playing the same amount of games as Kobe Bryant, I think he might be in that he might be behind LeBron, Kareem, and Karl Malone. That'll be it.
Again, I think as time passes, we're going to look at him in a much different light. And not much different. I think he will rise to the level just below those top 5 when we look in the annals of time.
And it's funny when you say you said Carmelo Anthony, and Carmelo is 10th on the all-time scoring list with he's got about 650 points less than KD. But in 200, Carmelo played 200 more games than KD's played. So KD's an elevated version of Carmelo, as well as Carmelo with a title.
Right.
So, all right, let's hit a break. We'll wrap up the rest of this list on the other side, where there's another Spur on the list.
There is. Well, there's 3 Spurs.
It's some of these guys at the bottom. It's a little bit weird.
But the placement of one behind the other, I find absolutely galling.
So we'll talk about that next. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, man, it was a wild day at Cowboys camp yesterday. What's going to happen today? We'll go there and talk with John Machota at 5:15.
At 3:35, the Lauri Markkanen news still out there. Brett Siegel from Clutch Points, the National NBA insider, will join us to give us the latest on the Lauri Markkanen situation. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the first annual back-to-school drive, Saturday, August 3rd, from noon till 2 p.m. while supplies last at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-age children, only while supplies last, so don't be late. Saturday, August 3rd, from noon to 2 p.m. at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Presented by the Gomez Law Firm and in part by ProStar Home Care Services, Sonora Bank, Las Palabas, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Bobo, we appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Gigi's done. She said,
You left me hanging, but whatever. I still love you. And I was there first.
She's talking about the show meeting you had yesterday. She's the only one that showed up.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, guys, I'm 3 minutes early.
Right.
What the heck?
That was 50-1 odds in Vegas.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Diamonds Direct's summer sale is here. Shop now and get an extra 20% off Diamonds Direct's renowned prices. Get 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. That's 20% off plus $100 off store-wide. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their newest designs. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, engagement rings, and more. 20% off. Now to July 28th. Ends this Sunday at 5 p.m. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
It's Jason and Joe from The Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 22nd and 23rd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
So join The Blitz at Circa Las Vegas. More details and discounted rooms available online at sasportstar.com. Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasik.com.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Look no further than the I-10 Ice House, your neighborhood sports headquarters with over a decade of excellence. Catch every thrilling moment on massive 10-foot screens, whether it's the big game or that must-see pay-per-view event. And don't miss out on their daily happy hour specials. I-10 Ice House has daily happy hour specials that'll keep your spirits high and your wallet happy. The best seats are at I-10 Ice House on 9518 Console Drive near Wurzbach in 10. Proudly serving our community for over 10 years. I-10 Ice House.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Strong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and.
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Monday morning. Will Dallas' Dak Prescott get his new contract for his birthday during training camp at Oxnard? We're there, and if he does, you'll hear about it first. San Antonio Sports Stars coverage of Dallas Cowboys training camp, sponsored by AA Best Bell Buns and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Live all week from Oxnard, California. Monday morning, South Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jason Minix, and you're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Who's that gal?
I recognize her. She doesn't do mornings very often, but she's more on a weekend type, I think.
I think maybe underutilized.
I would say so.
Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. And I'm just saying, I think she's good at her job.
Best I can tell.
Oh, the TV's muted.
She's made it to the show. Oh, that's it. She's made it to the show.
The TV's muted, but I'm guessing she's good at her job.
Well, the subtitles by the font. She's doing a fine job.
Yeah. We got some breakfast tacos. I'm going to give thoughts on them on the other side because I do want to finish this list. But I mean, we have to make a discussion about these.
We do.
The top 25 list. Giannis 11 feels a little high to me. I think that there's some recency bias with that one, but
I completely agree that I think over the annals,
he's not going to be remembered as a.
He better win something else. I think might be the most appropriate way to keep that from happening.
Steve Nash 12. James Harden 13.
Now, I am curious to the parameters. What are the prereqs to be listed?
Didn't say.
Because
I mean, it just said they're top 25 players of the 21st
He has
century.
changed the game. Good, bad, or indifferent. The game is different now that James Harden has played it at a professional level than it was before he got here. His thought process on scoring, the analytics that he is a product of, the ingenuitive ways to get shots off, the three-step slide, all those things that didn't even exist before Harden got here. So, yeah, I mean, it's not all about titles. He a lot of things mattered that he has done.
You put him ahead of Kawhi?
No,
I don't either. Kawhi at 16, and you hate Kawhi.
He is Voldemort, but I respect the skill.
Jason Kidd is 14, Chris Paul 15, Kawhi 16, Manu Ginobili 17. Allen Iverson, 18. You and I feel differently about Allen Iverson. I think Allen Iverson's better. I think Allen Iverson is our generation's Karl Malone or Charles Barkley. Like, if he had a ring, everyone would look at him differently.
Yeah, he wouldn't let anybody get a ring.
He just played in an era where there was nobody else that was really there weren't any other superstars, it didn't feel like. Like, he was, his first couple years in the league, he was the face of the league. He was like the post-Jordan face of the league.
What happened after? Yeah, he filled the void as the face. That's well put. But once Jordan left, we kind of lost focus on stars and started focusing on teams.
Yeah.
And so he was really the last of the face before Kobe and Shaq really kind of took the mantle. Yeah. So very appropriate placement. I think the game was different from him. Nobody was more offensive than him in a lot of ways. So yeah, I like where he is. He's a top 25 guy. We can quibble whether he's bottom 25 or 15, but yeah.
Anthony Davis 19.
See, come on. You want to talk about lost in the moment?
Anthony Davis is one of those dudes who I think Anthony Davis is one of the 25 most talented players in this century, but his health has been problematic to the point where I can't put him up here.
I hate using asterisks. It's been applied to me and my favorites, but the COVID title, it wasn't real.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. And the further we get away from it, I think the more we don't really want to talk about the fact that what went down in Orlando really was, I mean, it was manufactured and we got us a champion. Was it really truly representative of the league at that moment? No.
If the Warriors would have won it, do you think anybody would say that?
No, because the Warriors were the team.
Yeah.
And they probably should have won it if they'd have gotten 82 to do it.
Yeah. Number 20, Ray Allen.
And now who's at 21?
Tony Parker's at 21.
Oh, God. That's a little thumb to the eye.
22, Draymond Green, which I stand by. That is too high. Draymond Green is a great role player. But no, not. I don't think he's one of the 25 best players of the century.
Now, is best the term we're using? Is that
top 25 players? I don't know how you take that, but
yeah, I thought their effect on the league, and he was part of the run. He's their Tony Parker, but more their Manu. He's the heart of that team, so I get it.
Russell Westbrook 23, Pau Gasol 24.
That was a surprise to me.
That Pau was 24.
Yeah,
it might be low when you really think about what all he did.
No, I'm not angry with it, but he was always a cog in a larger machine, and he even. Keep in mind, that's another Spur. Look at the number of the top 25 that came through the Spurs doors.
True. And 25 was is Luka.
Wow, Dallas fan. I guess they're not prisoners of the moment with Luka right now.
No Carmelo Anthony on this list.
Well, Luka took a spot.
I guess so. And no surprise, like in the comments, there's either people saying Kobe should be number one or Kobe's too high. Everybody, there's no in between. There's no, yep, Kobe should be number two. No, it's either if you're a Kobe guy, you think he should be number one.
Not one, two. I don't think anybody believes the real. I mean, there's some Kobe.
Like
cultists.
I said, go through the comments.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of them in there.
The non-myopic true basketball fan, and I get it. You're not going to put Kobe over LeBron.
Well, a lot of these people would. I think Tim Duncan. It's an offensive placement at 4.
It's a 1 or 2 spots. He's top 5, so I'm not going to quibble.
I think he is to me he's a clear number 2. But again, to each their own. All right, let's take our last break of the first hour. Wrap this baby up. We got some fun stuff planned coming up though, and we've got some sound, some Cowboys sound as we prepare our bodies and souls to get out to Cowboys training camp. It is the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1. If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Can I just say this one thing? Alexa, play San Antonio Sports Star. I hope that gets a couple of them going.
Let us know if we just turned on your Alexa.
Ooh, turn on Alexa.
That did not sound the way it was meant. Where's your Alexa?
Bedroom.
Really?
Yeah, that's where I turn Alexa on.
At least I'm turning somebody on in there.
No kidding.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
3 bands, 1 stadium. Journey, Def Leppard, the Steve Miller Band, 3 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons. Their biggest hits Friday, August 16th, Alamo Dome. Tickets on sale now at DefLeppardJourney2024.com.
As you know, summertime is here. And for most people, that means more activities, more golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with minor aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate vaccinated. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams July summer sale and get 35% off paints and stains from July 26th through August 5th. With prices starting at $31.84, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Let's discuss the breakfast tacos. What'd you have, Vic?
I had carne guisada.
Okay. Rob, you had a carne asada and a
barbacoa. Yes, I did.
I had what was mine called? Carne a la mexicana?
Yes. Yeah, carne a la mexicana.
And a migas.
Migas. How was that?
The migas was disappointing.
They said it didn't come with cheese, and I didn't know if you wanted cheese or not.
Yeah, there was no cheese. There was no peppers or onions. It was eggs and tortilla strips. Now, to me, Rob said maybe I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong.
You thought you were getting chilaquiles. And
no, because chilaquiles they've got damn near tortilla chips, and they're covered in salsa. Right? Chilaquiles is covered in salsa.
With all the other stuff you want.
Yes, but migas usually has eggs, cheese, tortilla strips, and then like some sort of peppers and onions.
See, most of the migas, well, everybody has their interpretation, but I think you're somewhere in between. And yours did look a little thin. It needed cheese.
I think it needed cheese.
For sure.
I dumped salsa on it, but it was. I'll say this: what I'm realizing is we've had tacos from a bunch of different places in the last 6 weeks or so. This Benny's is underrated. More people should know about this place. The fact that when we put this out on the Brigade Bar and people didn't know, people were giving us all these different, like Benny should have been the first thing people told us about.
On this side of town,
Yeah.
respect, really good. And the carne asada, consistently good.
In hindsight, whoever told us about Benny's, that guy knows his stuff.
Yep.
That guy knows, because their carne asada is the best that we've had by far, I think.
Tortillas are good.
Yeah,
Tortillas are good.
Mhm.
And this carne a la mexicana it pushes up against that carne asada. It's very good too.
And the barbacoa, the fat makes my fingers stick together. That's the test.
Oh,
Do you get the sticky finger post barbacoa?
That's a damn good place,
I
bub.
got the sticky finger, if you know
It's
what
dangerous.
I mean. Yeah, those who know, they know.
Benny's, again, at least for our side of town, where we're at,
Northeast.
Benny's is strong work, man. We'll be back. Hour number 2 of the Huddle coming up.
Riding the work with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. It's the Morning Huddle, KTFM Floresville.
Everything must go. Don't miss out on these unbeatable deals. Visit Team Express Superstore today. 75% off on all apparel and footwear, and up to 60% off of all football and baseball equipment and performance gear. Team Express Superstore on East Nakoma.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
I juggle a lot. I'm managing constipation with belly pain from my irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, with laxatives and fiber isn't enough. My doctor recommended a way to get ahead of it. Then I said yes to Linzess.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6580. That's 800-583-6580.
Trane heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TraneInfo.com to find your local independent Trane dealer. TraneInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hello, San Antonio. This is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our waterfront land sale this Saturday, July 27th, where you can own land in a waterfront community starting at just $49.9. That's right, $49.9. Don't miss this opportunity to own coastal waterfront land priced below market value. Estates with panoramic sunset and sunrise views, excellent fishing, pool, cabana, pier, boat slips, and boat launch. Each estate has paved road frontage and underground utilities. This one-day sale is this Saturday, July 27th, by appointment only. Call now, 210-853-0389. That's 210-853-0389. Call 210-853-0389. For your priority showing, call now. Don't miss this opportunity. Call 210-853-0389.
For your priority showing, call now.
94.1 FM. San Antonio Sports Center.
Dallas Cowboys began training camp with Jerry offering the State of the Union. He, Stephen Jones, and Mike McCarthy offered their opinions on the season to come. With deals with Dak, CD, and Micah looming, Jerry spoke. You'll hear it all today on San Antonio Sports Star. The Houston Astros return to action after the day off. They'll welcome the Los Angeles Dodgers in the Minute Maid, first pitch at 7:10. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
State of the Cowboys. What is the state of the Cowboys, you might ask? It's in shambles. In shambles, I tell you.
So, normal.
I would say it is normally abnormal. It seems like there's always some sort of drama regarding the Cowboys. There's no doubt. But this does feel like there's a little more drama than usual.
Well, this is actually serious. Sometimes it's blown out of proportion. Others, this does kind of matter that both your head coach and your quarterback's contracts expire. It does kind of matter that your number one wide receiver is holding out and asking to become the highest paid wide receiver of all time. And then it does also matter that you've got a rather vocal linebacker waiting in the wings who is your best player that needs to be paid. All that rolling into the beginning of a training camp that's always full of what ifs after an off season that we were told you were all in and saw nothing from it. Yeah, it's turmoil. Fun.
Well, we promised you that we would we'd be heavy on this sound, which means we're playing clips that are longer than I typically like to play on the radio.
But Jerry doesn't speak short.
No, and Jerry doesn't speak in snippets. He's a blabber. And to me, the most interesting clip was, unfortunately, the longest. But if you care about these sorts of things, I'll play it here because he was asked about why he continues to sort of go away from traditional thinking today. Like when it comes to these contracts and stuff, why don't you do things the way everybody else does them?
I think the Cowboys have had two general managers, Tex Schramm and me. 2 in the history. You look around the NFL, and I'll bet I don't know. I really haven't studied this, but I'll bet you they've had 30. They've had as many general managers, maybe sometimes, as they've had coaches. Since the reality of it is, which was from the day that we walked through the door, that I knew that I was going to have to be responsible for any and everything that went on. So that if that is going to be the case, then I'm only comfortable doing it that way. I can't delegate that. Now, what that implies is that this thing is a product of me sitting up there throwing darts. That's not the case. I like to think that the reason that I've enjoyed some success in my life is that I've had people like Mike and Stephen in my ear hard. Now, Stephen is my son, and then my children, we all work together. I heard a father's prayer one time that says, please don't let me be a bully because I can be. They will let me because they love me. And so that I lay up waking nights making sure that my ears are open and that I'm not too willfully strong. So believe you me, I listen and I get a lot of input. And when this guy to my right talks to me, you notice in a draft room who I'm sitting by Mike. When he talks to me, it's going in and it's not coming out. Now, I'm a lot of things, but I'm not slow. So I do listen to the people around me. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be sitting here, Tim. I wouldn't even be sitting here. You can't get here and get to be a part of this, just me. And so I've had lots of input. Jimmy Johnson gave me a lot of input. Okay. Did anybody else have to make the final decision? The decision. Do you punch the button or not? Not one time in history that I've been involved with this team. Now, if my butt has got my mind out someplace else and not on this, then you have to trust me that I know how to, since I'm not on top of the issue, trust it when Mike says, we're going to do it this way. Stephen says, we're going to do it this way. Trust me, that's the way it is, and it's been that way since we got the Dallas Cowboys.
So it's not just his fault.
No, but here's the thing. I like that, in a way, I like that Jerry is a hands-on owner. I think more owners should be hands-on, but I also think that you can have too much hand-on. And for him to say there's been two GMs in the history of this team, and since I've been here, I'm one of them. It's maybe that statement alone should open his eyes to maybe you need to put more football people around you. And listening to your head coach is one thing, but a head coach isn't a GM. Listening to your son is one thing, but he's your son.
Well, first of all, what's the job of a GM?
The job of a GM, in my mind, is to handle the roster.
Right.
Is to
the talent acquirer.
Yes, and retainer.
Yeah, acquire and retain talent.
And manage the salary cap.
If you're just grading Jerry on managing, acquiring, and keeping talent, what's your grade?
I mean, right now it's very incomplete, isn't it?
Well, no, he's got 30 years of being general manager.
Okay.
Give him a grade as a general manager, managing, acquiring, and keeping talent.
C+. I mean, he did a great job of it in the early days when there was no salary cap.
Well,
it's a different era now. Like you have to balance things.
How many general managers drafted 5 Hall of Famers? And there'll be more than that.
Probably not many. I mean, but he's done it. He's done the job for longer than any of them will get to.
Well,
because
that's
he
true.
Can't be fired.
And when they ask him those questions, I think the first answer that Jerry should always answer is the reason that things are done differently here is because I'm spending my money.
Yeah.
Other general managers are spending somebody else's money. I'm spending my own, and I always look at it through that way, and he does. But if you grade him on talent acquiring, he was involved with. He can say I drafted Dak Prescott in the 4th round.
GM job also is to hire the head coach,
and that's a negative in the grade book. But as far as going and finding talent, Tony Romo, Dak Prescott, he drafted the all-time.
Tony Romo. Do you think Jerry Jones knew Tony Romo's name before some scout?
Well, again, he said it. Look, I rely on the advice of the people that I've hired. I think we get lost in a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff to be mad at him about. But the one thing the Cowboys have always had, at least for the most part, there were some dry years in the mid-2000s, but there's always been talent on this team, and it's normally homegrown. He is a pretty good. He and his staff, Will McClay primarily, have had a pretty good eye for talent. They have. I mean, Jerry played a role in drafting the all-time rusher in the history of the NFL. He drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
He drafted. Well, he didn't draft Troy, but he played a role. He did draft Troy. He didn't draft Michael. That offensive line through and through, DeMarcus Ware. He's played a role in a lot of talent. Now the problem
he also drafted Mo Claiborne. He drafted
which isn't awful, but he was
Shante Carver. He drafted Felix Jones. He drafted David LaFleur. He drafted Bobby Carpenter. Everybody's got 8-round draft, but I think for the most part, those are all first-round picks that I just named.
Yeah, but everybody. I mean, over 30 years you'll have that, but at the same time, he has done a pretty decent job, and I think C+ to B is probably exactly where he belongs. And so C+ to B in the NFL, that ain't bad. I think we can point at a lot of dudes that have done worse. So when he judges himself that way, I get it. What he's saying, he's right. Look, man, I've drafted well. I pay appropriately. I've been a pretty good because I listen to people around me. But that's just part of the grade. And the rest of the grade is what happens where we sit today. When you let yourself get to this kind of situation, well, he will forever be told. And I look at him now as a football guy, but everybody else, well, always look at him, even though he's got 30 years of this under his belt. He's still not a football guy.
Well, because when he came to the NFL, he wasn't a football guy.
I agree, but if somebody's done something for 30 years, I mean, and Super Bowls included.
Okay, so David Tepper, who's the owner of the Carolina Panthers, who's basically a hedge fund guy, if he continues to own the Panthers for the next 30 years, does he become a football guy?
If he was the general manager, he better become a football guy. I just think if you do something for 30 years, and I know you owned it and you hired yourself, but the fact of the matter is, we just said he got a B. Overall, he's gotten a C+ B. Over 30 years, he's a football guy.
No, I mean, you're probably right. Like if you spent whatever when your father passes away and you take your inheritance and you buy a burger shop and you work in the burger place for the next 20 years,
you're a burger
you become
guy.
a burger guy.
Yeah,
no
so
doubt.
I don't discount that. Now, is he a great football guy? No, he's an average football guy with a lot of money who owns the team. But I'm not going to give him any more or any less credit than he's due in this kind of thing. He has done this long enough to understand the ramifications of his actions. And he's painted himself to a situation that he continually be questioned about his football acumen. When at the end of the day, when you separate his name and his team from what he's done, you go, well, no, not bad. Not bad.
They asked him about the threshold for success with the Dallas Cowboys.
If you look over the last 30-something years, you will see that everything's not predicated on the exact one loss. What you're counting on, the people involved in the inside that are there every day and are there with the staff and are there with the players and the coaches. You're counting on, by the way, you do play a game that's with an oblong ball that can go any way on you when it hits the ground. And so you can make some bad mistakes when you totally base your decisions on the results of Green Bay Cowboys last year. You can make mistakes. Now you can't ignore it, and you got to realize, just like our fans do, that it's something to think about. But you can't just be that bright-lined. I'm going to say this to try and answer your question. There's nothing bright-lined about the kinds of things that you have noted in this off season that are not happening. That's not bright lines. It's got a lot more ambiguity to it.
If you're not, and the thing I liked out of, or that I wanted to discuss out of that snippet was him talking about we're more than the results of Cowboys Green Bay.
That hurts to hear, but it's true.
But that to the fans, that's not the case. And that is kind of the disconnect between what Jerry's thinking. And this is another thing I give Jerry a lot of credit for is he does things the way he wants to do it. There's a lot of people who would say, "Oh, yeah, what do you if you don't do what your fans want to do you worry about losing them?" Jerry Jones doesn't worry about losing them, and maybe that's if Jerry Jones didn't own the Dallas Cowboys, it might be an issue. If he owned the New Orleans Saints, it probably would be a much bigger problem. If he owned really any other franchise, it might. But Cowboys fans are Cowboys fans. Most Cowboys fans don't switch their allegiance at some point in their life.
I think most fans don't.
No, but the Cowboys also have had a huge fan base for a long time.
Jerry was a showman from the moment he bought this team. And the moment he arrived and started messing with the cheerleaders and all this other kind of stuff, those that have been long-term Cowboy fans knew at that moment that winning was no longer the only thing. I mean, it changed at that moment. That prior to that, Tom Landry, everything that Tom Landry did was about winning a Super Bowl. And if it didn't go towards winning a Super Bowl, it didn't happen. Well, Jerry'd rather sell a ticket and go to the Super Bowl. And if you had to choose between the two, Super Bowl's one, but selling another couple of tickets is 1A. And that's always been Jerry. And for him to admit, well, yeah, my franchise is more than about winning and losing. It's more than about Super Bowls. It's about becoming and being the Dallas Cowboy machine. It hurts. It sucks.
Well,
but it's true.
When you're financing it.
Yes, it's my money.
That's what you need.
And, owners and teams are strange because some owners look at it like it's a dalliance, it's a toy. Some of it look at it like it's an investment that you just kind of watch. And others play with it and they really don't know what they're doing. And Jerry being there's only two owners that are all in on this. And it's Davis and Jerry.
Yeah.
And they handle things very differently, though very much the same.
And Ren says Jerry played football. He did. He was a captain on a national title team, but playing football doesn't make you like a football
and he
person.
Wasn't a football guy when he won Super Bowls. He wasn't. He was new to this. He relied on the kindness of strangers and the advice of people that knew what they were doing. But at some point,
you start to figure it out.
Yeah, you kind of know the ins and outs.
All right, let's hit a break. We'll do some more sound on the other side, some more from Jerry, including if this is going to be Dak's last year with the Cowboys and how he's handling the CD situation. We'll talk about that next. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Porn sites in Texas are turned off.
Yes, they are.
Oh, they are?
The legislation passed a rule that you have to prove your age. And if you haven't proven your age, which nobody wants to put that information out on porn sites, they lock you out.
In the past, they said, "Are you 21?" And me and all the other 8th graders would say, yes.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Vanguard, you're more than just an investor, you're an owner. So whether you're planning for retirement or trying to save up for your next big adventure, Vanguard will help work alongside you to set personalized investment goals. That's the value of ownership. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Vanguard Marketing Corporation, distributor.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Team Express Superstore on East Nakoma. Baseball and softball gloves, bats, batting gloves, uniforms, and performance apparel. Steel and molded cleats and all other equipment. Football helmets, shoulder pads. Everything must go. Team Express Superstore on East Nakoma.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? Settling for less money. That never happens with Orchard. Hi, Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Disappointing offers can wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less. You don't have to settle when you sell with Orchard. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale and helping you sell on the market for top dollar. First, Orchard lists your home for top dollar. Then they make you an impressive guaranteed backup cash offer. This gives you the confidence to hold out for the price you deserve. Here's what one Orchard customer said, quote, "The peace of mind of the guaranteed offer is why I went with Orchard. And when you sell for more, the rest is yours. My home sold on the market for far more than I expected." With Orchard's guaranteed cash offer, you never have to settle for less. You for your home, visit orchard.com for a free, no obligation cash offer. That's orchard.com.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're going through some of the state of the Cowboys from Jerry Jones yesterday, and they asked him about Dak, Dakota Prescott. Is this the end of the road for old Dakota? And here's what Jerry had to say.
I don't think so. Just to be very specific, I do not think that this will be his last year with the Cowboys at all. Am I being psychotic relative to my mirror? No. It's pretty clear, I think. I want to say it if it hadn't been clear, of how much we appreciate what Dak Prescott has meant to this team in a positive way. And the players do play better when he's out there. He does make his teammates play at a higher level. There's no question about it. So I'm right there in line with his best fan. But believe it or not, in my life, I've had a lot of things I wanted that I couldn't get because I couldn't afford it. Now, have I learned to live with that in 80-something years? You bet I have. And life does go on. And sometimes when you get a bump like that, you turn around and do better than you would have had you got what you wanted.
Wow.
Dak's done, man. You know that,
But
right?
he said he doesn't feel like it's going to be his last year.
Oh, that's not the last thing he said. Like my daddy always told me, the true meaning of the sentence comes after the but.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's going to be a Cowboy, but there's been a lot of things in my life I haven't been able to afford.
Listen, man, this is and saying sometimes you're better off. Like, I mean,
I'm telling you, he's resigned himself. He's made his offer. His matzo ball is hanging out in the wind, and it ain't enough.
And do you think he's not going to budge on it?
I don't think he can. I think he's looking at he's going to, in my mind, I believe Jerry needs a win. Jerry's had a rough couple of weeks. Yesterday was no fun for anybody. He needs a win, and his win will be CeeDee Lamb with the biggest wide receiver contract in history. Now, how you define biggest, whether it's the most guaranteed, the longest, CeeDee's going to have something to hang his hat on to say, I did it. I have become the most, the best, whatever that is. And Jerry can point to it, and his fans say, I told you I was all in. It just took me a while to get it all in. I believe that. I think CeeDee will be in camp and well paid by the time we leave next Friday.
Well, here's what speaking of that all-in focus, here's what Jerry had to say about that.
Now, the other thing I want to say gratuitously is that I've been doing this 30-something years, and I don't feel like I've ever worked a day in my life, ever. But I have spent my life doing it, and I dream about it every day. I'm into it here. I'm all in. I'm all in. Sometimes being all in means you remove the months out here that are in the future, and you narrow it down to where all we're talking about is right now and the next playoff season, and that's it for everybody. We're all in. We're all in. It's all right there. Okay? We all got some things out here in the future, another 2 or 3 years on contracts, all that stuff. Let's all get in here. Zero right now in this. Dak's got his year contract. Let's focus right here. We all got a lot on the line for that playoff game. A lot of it. So you got to understand a weird way of looking at it a little bit with that time.
That playoff game I caught too.
Do you think if he says we're all in 3 times in a row, like the Candyman shows up, do you think
He's
that suddenly
hoping
he
can
actually
click his heels 3 times and a Super Bowl arrives? No, he doesn't have take me home shoes. If you keep repeating it long enough, you can manifest it into truth. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works, but we've heard a lot of all in. But what have the Cowboys done this offseason to make you feel like they are all in?
Well, see, the thing is, we keep thinking that Jerry is the problem here.
I'm not saying he is.
He's painted himself. He is the problem. Let's not get around that. The situation that he is either manufactured to be just this or absolutely colossally mishandled at every turn that got you here. One or the other. This happened for a reason. That he has his coach and his quarterback in contract years. And he said it again. I get the sense that some of this was manufactured. He likes the idea of the deadline. But there's only so much money. And at this point, I do believe he sat down a year ago and go, okay, CeeDee, Dak, Micah. Well, Micah's the best player on the team. Got to keep him. And if I'm going to lose my quarterback and my coach, I might as well have a wide receiver, a little bit of bait to bring in somebody else if I have to go chase somebody. So I think CeeDee's going to get paid, and Dak's the odd man out. He's made his offer, and he will not pay him what Dak wants. And Dak knows that he can get whatever he wants no matter what happens to him this season.
And like I said, there is the cap to consider. And it's when you say, what can I afford? I mean, if Jerry wanted to pay millions to whoever he wanted to, he could.
Absolutely.
But there are rules to the game now. Here's what he was having to say about the salary cap yesterday.
Those 3 players you mean could be 70% of all the money you got, 70% of your payroll. Now you need a little money for the other 51. That's a challenge, especially a challenge when you've used some of the very money that you're working with. You've used it for years past, so you probably got some of there. That's not singing the blues, and it wasn't unanticipated. What is a pleasure is that you're dealing with that quality in that situation, how to keep the top quarterback and how to keep on either side of the ball, as he just mentioned. Add it up and you'll see about anywhere from 70 to 80% of your whole payroll there. Now, how to figure that and keep the kind of supporting cast that Dak has had in his career. How to keep that supporting cast so that Dak can maintain and improve on where he is and be spending on those 3 players 75% of your money, that's a challenge. How do you keep a supporting cast like the one we're talking about out here right now, plus on 3 players spend 75%, and plus have spent a little bit of that on your credit card for years past? That's not singing the blues. I'm privileged to get to sit here and try to make it work out, but it's real. It's real. And you look around the league and everybody does it. If somebody on any one of those players happened to not have to be paying a quarterback or happen not to have 2 players on each side of the ball that they're paying, they've got more money to spend for that play. Are there other clubs that don't have what we're just outlining? You bet there are. And so they have got more of their cap that they might allocate for any one of those players. And there's 31 other clubs. That's what happens.
Now, I'll say this, and I agree with Jerry on this. It's very difficult to do, but this is what I've said all along. The way to win in the NFL now is to have your quarterback on a rookie deal and build up a team around him. Have a great quarterback on a rookie deal, mind you, but build up a team around him. Otherwise, you need to have Patrick Mahomes. And I think whatever you think of Dak, whether you think Dak is the right guy for the Cowboys or the wrong guy for the Cowboys, what I can tell you is I'm pretty sure any reasonable human would agree that Dak is nowhere near Patrick Mahomes in terms of greatness. So unless you think Dak is Patrick Mahomes, it's
well, I mean, you can't just universally only every team other than the Kansas City Chiefs needs to find another quarterback. I don't think.
Well, Tom Brady retired, so yeah. But outside of those 2 guys, that's pretty much what
every
it was.
other team should now have a for sale sign with what they got and be searching for another.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have to accept that if you pay your quarterback, your team falls apart around them, and you can't keep the CDs and the Micah Parsons anymore. It becomes, like Jerry said, it is difficult.
Well, we know that. That's why I hate it when Jerry mansplains what it means to be a general manager. Duh. But, as soon as he said that, everybody started tweeting out all these other teams that managed to pay their big 3 well over $30 million. There's lots of teams that have managed to do exactly what Jerry, they ain't pleading poverty now. Yes, you are. This was a situation that you manufactured. Other teams have managed to do what you're doing, are trying to do. Other teams have managed to pay their quarterback a whole lot of money, their wide receiver and the defensive end a whole lot of money. They've all managed to do it. Look to your best friend. Look at what Kroenke's managed to do over the years. Yes, there's always money in the cushions. You can do it if you want to. You've chosen not to. By indecision or decision, you have chosen not to pay all 3. You're going to pay 2 of them, I guess. But don't plead poverty and, oh my, the league is set up so it's hard. Yes, it's very hard. And guess what? San Francisco's going through it too. You're not alone, but it's doable. You can do it if you choose to.
San Francisco's not going through it.
Well, they got 2 dudes holding out.
But they pay their quarterback nothing.
Well, you're right. And that's why these dudes are holding out, because they know as soon as that money goes, it's gone. Because that quarterback's getting paid.
But he's right. When you start paying 3 dudes 70% of your salary cap,
yes,
it's hard to field a competitive team.
Well, the whole league can say that. Yes, those are the rules as they are designed. And you keep telling me you're a football guy, and I am standing beside you saying I think you are. Well, this is not new. You knew that at some point Dak Prescott was going to ask to be the highest paid quarterback in the world. You also knew that CeeDee Lamb, the moment you drafted him, 5 years from now, guess what? He's going to want to be the highest paid wide receiver in the world if I drafted appropriately. And congratulations, you did. Micah Parsons, same thing. This wasn't a shock. Micah didn't just come out of nowhere, neither did CD. You saw this coming, and you let it get to where you are, and you plead poverty or ignorance because of the rules that are set up that all the other 31 teams are going by as well. So I don't buy that either.
Yeah. It's just, dude, once you pay these quarterbacks, it's very difficult to maintain a roster around them. And the teams that have, the Rams did it. The Rams, obviously Stafford wasn't on a rookie deal when he won, but they I mean, they
paid Aaron. They paid Bobby Trees. They paid defensive back. They paid through the nose. Now they paid for it the next year. They had to go through the depths.
You have to bottom out.
Yeah,
after
you
that.
have to bottom out quick. And to their credit, they have. Jerry doesn't want to do that,
right?
Because Jerry is more than about wins. He told you that in the sentence prior. Look, the Cowboys are more than wins and losses.
But on the same note, we just heard him say 3 times in a row, we're all in.
All in on
and
a team that's more than wins and losses. Understand what he's
the hell
telling
does that
you.
mean? I don't understand that.
It's Super Bowl is not the preeminent goal of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys being first on the A block on ESPN. Dallas Cowboys having 5 guys in jersey sales. Dallas Cowboys being the only beer of Miller Lite. Dallas Cowboys, that's all in. And Jerry is still all in. But it's all in on being the Dallas Cowboys. It ain't all in on getting a Super Bowl. It's kind of in on that, but no.
It's cool if that comes. Because
yes,
absolutely. What you just defined with the Rams when they basically said, okay, we're going for it here. And had the Rams not won that Super Bowl, they would be looked at like they made horrific business decisions. Mm-hmm. Remember, they traded for Von Miller. That to me was the most all-in you could be.
Truth.
And it paid off. And they have no regrets. And the next 2 seasons when they stunk, they didn't care because they got a ring. That's what being all in is in my mind. When I hear all in,
that's it.
That's what I think they're talking about.
His best friend, Stan Kroenke in the league, his best friend who's worth about $5 billion more, can afford to go in and suffer for a couple years because he's got teams all over the world. Jerry's got 1 revenue stream. Well, 2. He's got a lot of money in the Chesapeake, but all that. But his primary revenue stream is the Cowboys, and a down year is far worse than a down year in season ticket sales and merch and all that. He has to have that. That's part of the machine. He can't sacrifice that. He can't go 5-7 or what we do now, 5-11. He can't. Yeah. He can't. That is not part of the business plan.
Here's what he had to say about CD Lamb, which is the other elephant in the room.
Was it Martin that wasn't here last year?
Correct.
Oh,
you forgot?
Pretty big deal.
You paid him all the money.
All buttoned up, contract and all. Wasn't here. Does that ever happen? Of course it does. Look all over the league. It happens all over the league. So I don't flare when it's happening to us. I'm aware of it. You must give me that I'm aware that we want to get these guys to camp. Business as usual, as far as I'm concerned. That's the point of that diatribe I just had before this. I'm used to this. I can live with this. And I feel confident if you look at the fundamentals here, we can get back to the shot we were. I hope that we'll be in better shape. So that's January. Okay, this is July. No, I don't get bent out of shape over the fact that somebody is not here or here at all.
At all.
He ain't worried.
I ain't worried. You seen that Jalen Tolbert? I got 2 Jalens. You seen him?
He'll figure it out. He wants this money. He'll show up. I don't know. I think he is too. Is there a point of diminishing return on having a guy like Jerry Jones as your owner? Like, is there a point where Jerry Jones is a net negative for the Cowboys?
Your definition of what Jerry Jones is, because this is it. And winning is the only thing. Yeah.
There's sometimes where you can be really good at one thing and not really great at another. And you know what? A great example of this was Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien is looked at as an abject failure for his time in Houston. But the truth is, Bill O'Brien won a lot of football games in Houston that probably more than he should have. It's when Bill O'Brien became the GM and started making football decisions that people were like, this guy's ruining the team. Jerry Jones, because he's got 2 jobs, one of them is as the owner. And as the owner, your job is to make money, which like you were saying, if Jerry Jones' job is to make the most money possible, the Dallas Cowboys are going to continue to be a profitable organization. He's pretty good at that part of the job.
He's the best.
But if you're the GM and your job is to win Super Bowls, at some point, like, there's a give and a take with those two things.
They don't understand that. And I get why they don't get it, because they keep looking at us like, what are you talking about? We're not all in it to win Super Bowls. We pay guys, we draft, I bring in free agents, I make deals. I do most of the time what is required of other guys to go win Super Bowls. I haven't, but what he doesn't understand is when a push comes to shove and a move that might be a negative, like cutting a guy loose that he doesn't want to keep around, or not going and getting a guy that might add a win but be suspect as far as what he's like in the locker room, or might cause, do something stupid on the field. He'll get those guys because it moves the needle a little bit. He doesn't think that that's a problem in the way of getting a Super Bowl, but there's always two reasons to keep a guy with Jerry. And, when you talk to guys like Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, who don't have nearly the money or the power and all that, every decision they make, the answer is, will it help us get one guy better toward the Super Bowl? And Jerry doesn't ask that question. He doesn't. It's about, will he sell one more ticket? Will he be, there's other things that are involved in Jerry's decision making. And I get why he doesn't get it, but he never will, because he controls the purse.
All right, let's hit our last break of the hour here. When we come back, we'll wrap up Jerry sound. But we got a lot more Cowboys stuff to talk today. We got sound from Dak, we got sound from Stephen Jones, we got sound from Mike McCarthy. We're gonna hear from all of them. It is the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, man, it was a wild day at Cowboys camp yesterday. What's going to happen today? We'll go there and talk with John Machota at 5:15.
At 3:35, the Laurie Markkinen news still out there. Brett Siegel from Clutch Points, the National NBA insider, will join us to give us the latest on the Laurie Markkinen situation. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
How about them Cowboys?
What will the Cowboys defense look like under new defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer? San Antonio Sports Star relocates to California's Golden Coast to find out.
You asked for it, you got it.
Coverage of the Cowboys' week-long training camp in Oxnard is brought to you by AA Best Bell Buns and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Beginning Monday morning, South Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
3 bands, 1 stadium. Journey, Def Leppard, the Steve Miller Band, 3 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons. Their biggest hits Friday, August 16th, Alamo Dome.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back. Circa Survivor and Circa Million are now up to a record $16 million in guaranteed prizes. 2 ways to win and no rate. Circa Survivor contestants select one team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all with $10 million guaranteed. In Circa Million, make 5 picks against the spread each week for your share of $6 million guaranteed through quarterly and full season payouts. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. Visit circasports.com for details.
With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. From high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone, including blackjack tournaments. From the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, the Big Blind is locally owned and operated, offering daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 and Redland Road.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson for Tri-County Meat Market, your locally owned full-service meat market. Tri-County has 2 great locations, Heavner Road and Ralph Fair, stocked full of everything you need to up your grilling game. You're looking for the perfect cut of beef, they've got it. If they don't have it, they'll cut it for you. Roast chicken, prepare foods, they've got it. The 5 for $25 is always in play. If you're a first responder, 10% off the best meat you're going to find. Tri-County Meat Market. Head over to either location, put some good meat on the grill, and thank me later.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey everybody, it's Joe Reinagle from The Blitz. I cannot tell you how happy I am with my brand new Connecticut quality water softener. Had it in my house now for about 2 weeks, and the difference it is making is just unbelievable. You know, Connecticut's been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. Their products are made in America, and you live in San Antonio in South Texas, a water softener, it's a must. And Connecticut is the absolute best, up to 80% more efficient than competing models. Simple design, fewer moving parts, and in fact, you don't plug it in. No plug-in at all. It does not run on electricity. It only works when you need it to work. And right now, if you've been thinking about a Connecticut quality water softener in your home, Connecticut is going to let you try one for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. All you have to do is give them a call, 656-PURE, 656-7873, or ConnecticutSA.com.
This is Jason Minix. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Bum, 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 bum. Yep. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Huddling up in the morning on the Morning Huddle. Rob and AJ on a Friday. Look at us. We're going to be done with the week. We're gonna take awesome naps today.
Pack up and head to Cali.
Yeah, I'm worried about what I'm gonna wear.
You should. It's gonna be nippy. High of 70s, low 70s.
Man, do you check a bag?
Because we got equipment we're carrying, so some stuff we got to carry on.
Yeah, I always have to check a bag because I'm sure you have the exact same problems. If you're going, like, I'm jealous of small people.
Oh, I know. You can fit more in a bag. Big feet, big shoes.
Yeah, big shoes. And like a pair of my jeans takes up a lot of space. A hoodie takes up a lot of space for me. But those shoes, it's like, I always wear whatever my biggest pair of shoes that I'm taking on a trip, I wear on the plane.
I just pack another bag, man. I just gave up years ago.
So the people who wear flip-flops on planes, I'm like, I don't get it. I'm usually wearing cowboy boots or something like that on a plane because I can't pack boots in my bag because they take up too much space.
Do you have TSA pre? Have you done that?
Yeah, I've got pre-check.
See, I don't. I haven't done that yet.
Oh,
so
you're a plebe.
I know. But see, I haven't had to for a long time. 90% of the time when I'm traveling, I'm with somebody who has. And if we make reservations together, normally you get the same treatment. And so I've been, for these football things that we've gone for years, I've always kind of piggybacked onto Minix. So I've not had to deal with it and had the same benefits. It's only been recently that's not been allowed.
I will say this. San Antonio is the airport where it matters the least if you have pre-check or not.
Yeah, but it's normally the comeback. When you're going through LAX or tough. Vegas, yeah, it can get annoying.
That's going to be tough. We've been going through Jerry's sound from the State of the Cowboys address yesterday. We've heard him talk about Dak. We've heard him talk about CD Lamb, and someone asked why he continues to wait to get these things done.
I can go back hundreds of times and look where I should have pitched or handed it off to the back rather than keep the ball. And I can do that not just with the instances you're talking about on players, but I can do it in my life many times and say, man, I should have handed that ball off rather than keep on toward the sideline. My point is that that's still whatever frailties there are, and there are some, the negatives in my world have outweighed, the positives has outweighed the negatives. And you have to look at it. I heard one time to use every decision the Ben Franklin method. And Ben Franklin said, when you're worried and tired and can't sleep, Ben Franklin said, get up in the morning and list on one side all the positives, everything good, and then get up and take on the left side all the negatives, everything bad. And if that positive side beats that negative side by one, you're doing good.
What? we were asking about CD. I don't know.
This is where people where if you were on twitter.com yesterday or x.com, you were hearing people call him Jerry Biden.
Oh,
that was one of those answers where it was
like he didn't want to say, so he danced away from it.
It felt that way.
Yeah, like I'm not going to talk about the contract I'm about to give him, but yeah, that was one of those where you're like, who's in charge over there?
Yeah, I want to wrap up the Jerry stuff, and I want to do it with basically his message to the fans, his overriding message to Dallas Cowboy fans, which, you know, a lot of people listening right now are listening because they are Cowboys fans. They want to, like, I'm sure if they heard that, they're thinking, what the F? What? Here's what Jerry had to say. This was his message to Cowboys Nation.
Now, having said that, I want to say this to our fans. I know that I have had a lot of mistakes in these years, but the same guys making this decision that has the Cowboys and really got there by the skin of my teeth. And it was a miracle that I was able to pull it off, a miracle. But the same imagination, the same risk taking, the same taking risk, but being pragmatic, being inconsistent, sometimes looking like you're a Mississippi riverboat gambler, and then sometimes looking like you're trying to guard the national vault. Those inconsistencies are how we got here. Now, that is what you're seeing going on right now. And I don't know for sure if it's going to work, but I am giving it everything I've got, and I'm all in to have it everything I've got. As sensitive as our fans are, they got a full-time me. I'm all in.
Well, he did say all in 2 more times, so that's good. Do you think he was like watching poker this offseason and like that's what got him on this all in kick?
Well, it was a very weird press conference, and I think that what he just did kind of summed things up. I mean, this was nothing but excuses and accept me for who I am. That's all we got yesterday. The state of the Cowboys is, this is what it is, and this is who I am.
I'm all in.
Whatever you like or dislike about the Cowboys is still the same. The frailties, the mistakes. You can say you're a riverboat gambler. I don't remember last time you were riverboat gambled on anything, but you have. I will give you some of that. He told you, look, this is who we are, and this is what this team is, and I'm not apologizing for it.
It feels very much like some lawyer told him, hey, anytime you're worried about what you got to say, just say I'm all in.
Well, welcome to Jerry.
All in.
Or come up with some weird story about Ben Franklin. If you get confused and you don't know what to say, just bring up Ben Franklin. You'll be fine.
It's like a guy who's playing poker for the first time. Like his buddies convince him to come over and play poker, and he's just trying to fit in. So he watches like an hour of the World Series of Poker, and he just says random terms. He's like, flush me. All in. And they're like, what do you mean all in? We haven't even dealt yet. What does that mean? Yeah, all in. I said.
That's a term, right?
Yeah.
On the flop?
The river. I'm at the river. You're like, we
No.
haven't dealt a card yet, but he doesn't know what he's saying, but he keeps saying it because he thinks he's supposed to. Steven had a couple comments yesterday as well. They
The
talked
heir
to
apparent.
old Steven Jones, the future of the Dallas Cowboys, and talked about the deals that they are trying to get done from his vantage point.
I think at the end of the day, if we had these three guys done, there'd be somebody else. I can assure you. They kind of wait in line and seeing when it's their turn. Obviously, we had everything buttoned up last year, and Zach, who's had an unbelievable career, all-pro career, one of the best players to ever put on the helmet here, decided, hey, I've been under a long-term contract and I'm underpaid, and I want to be paid. It's going on San Francisco. You just look around the league. As Jerry said, it goes on everywhere. We have a very unique situation. We have a quarterback who played at the top of his game last year, second in MVP voting, who can leave. And then we got two players who can't leave here for 3 years. Theoretically, if we didn't sign either one of them, I guess we couldn't franchise one 3 years from now. But we could sign one of them. And both of them, rightfully so, believe they should be the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. And totally respect that. So very difficult situations that we're trying to work through with them. They want to win. They want to put a ring on their finger, and they understand the difficult situation we have with a high-priced quarterback going into his second high-priced contract. He was the highest paid when we paid him 3 years ago, and then we got two other guys that we're trying to work through. It just takes time. We're having great conversations with the representatives in terms of CD and Dak, and obviously Micah's a year removed from where CD is today. CD, in his career and where he is contractually. So I think he wants to go out and show that he is the best non-quarterback in the league, and I hope he does it. But these things just take time, and we're having great conversations with him. It's certainly not easy. I welcome the opportunity that we've drafted well enough to have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, one of the best pass rushers in the league, if not the best, and one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in the league. Welcome the opportunity. It's great that we draft like that, but it does take time, and it's certainly not easy.
I mean, he's right. There's worse problems to have than having all these good players you got to pay money to.
Yeah, that's at RPP.
Yeah, we got a little more Stephen Jones sound, and we'll hear from Dak himself on the other side of this break. It's Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Two things are needed for a growing sense of gratitude in your life. Recognize the good things that come into your life and then acknowledge it. Open your eyes to the possibility, and it is possible, of a good coming into your life, and then say thank you out loud or in a note or in a prayer. Not only will you grow in your use of words like thank you or I appreciate you, but you will work against ingratitude. And everyone needs to work against ingratitude because of the way it shrinks your heart. At one level, ingratitude is a kind of blindness to the positive moments and experiences in life. At another level, beneath ingratitude is a perceived accusation, intended or not. The accusation goes like this: it could have been better, or it wasn't that great. Either way, it's a hard way to live, and it hardens our heart. So go into each day ready to recognize and acknowledge the good. And you might start the practice of ending each conversation with the words, I appreciate you. This is Mark Absher with the MacArthur Park Church of Christ. Visit our church online at macarthurchurch.org. The MacArthur Park Church of Christ, connecting God and people.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio Sports Center.
Dallas Cowboys began training camp with Jerry offering the State of the Union. He, Stephen Jones, and Mike McCarthy offered their opinions on the season to come. With deals with Dak, CD, and Micah looming, Jerry spoke. You'll hear it all today on San Antonio Sports Star. The Houston Astros return to action after the day off. They'll welcome the Los Angeles Dodgers in the Minute Maid, first pitch at 7:10. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
But Italians and Jews, very similar. You know, people say same corporation, different division. All right. We get along. There's an obvious, thing with the religion. I went to my first Passover dinner. That's what she's like, well, my mother's going to have Passover. Okay, we'll go to the dinner. 7:30, we sit down at her mother's house. I'm starving, right? Starving. They start passing out pamphlets, like reading material. I'm like, what's going on? What are we doing here? What's with the... She's like, no, we read for 2 hours. 2 hours. I said, listen, I'm Italian. As soon as I sit at a table, I got to have bread within 15 seconds of sitting down. All right?
Sebastian Maniscalco. He'll be at the Frost Bank Center. That is going to be, it's the It Ain't Right tour. It's August 11th, the Frost Bank Center. And we've been giving away via phone. I said, you know what? We got to give some to the Brigade Bar. So you watch us on YouTube, you got a chance to win today. And it's as simple as this, friends. Sebastian Maniscalco was in a major movie that is a Martin Scorsese movie. I want to know what gangster he played.
Wow.
In The Irishman, a famous mobster. He played in the from the Colombo crime family. He played in The Irishman. You tell me who he played in that movie. You're the first one to put it up there on the Brigade Bar. You get to go see him do his show at the Frost Bank Center. Here's a hint. You can Google these things, I bet. Get your tickets at livenation.com if you don't win them from us here. So it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. All right. Let's get back into this this sound, and we'll start with, I've got one more clip from Stephen Jones that I wanted to play. And it's on the frustration of the fans, which there is plenty of. And I see Corey put the nickname. I need the real name. I need the real name. The full name. Well, not the full name, but I need his first and last name.
He's crazy.
Crazy Joe.
Yeah, Crazy Joe.
Is good. You're halfway there. I need the last name of Crazy Joe. But here's what Steven had to say about the fans being frustrated here.
We had our highest rate of renewal that we've ever had on season tickets.
And the fastest it's ever happened in the league, in the NFL. Excuse me, Steve.
Now, there's no one more frustrated than we are with at the end of the day, this is all about, as Jerry said, that last game. It's our postseason success. And no one's more frustrated than we are. And they wouldn't be great fans if they weren't frustrated with the success we've had in the postseason. So it's duly respected in terms of what their frustration is. The good news is, I think Todd said, you don't want them not to care, and they do care. And they spoke. They want to come watch these games. They know we're competitive. They know we're right there. But we got to get the job done. And we hadn't gotten the job done, and we can go out and win a lot of games next year. And they're still going to be pointing to that first playoff game and the second playoff game, hopefully, and on. But we all know what the issue is here. It's our success in the postseason. We haven't had it. We know that. Our fans know that. Everybody knows that. These players know it. Mike knows it. His staff knows it. That's the elephant in the room. We've got to go take the next step, and we haven't done that. And until we do it, there'll be frustration.
I like how he says we all know it. It's weird to hear Jerry and Steven kind of spin the same topic in two different ways. And Steven, while you'd think Steven's priority would be making as much money as possible too, because eventually Jerry's money trickles down to him. Steven does feel like he's more tied to the actual franchise success than Jerry in a way. Like, maybe it's because Jerry's positioned him as a sort of a fall guy for when things go bad. He can be like, listen, Steven's picking the roster here.
No, he's never done that. He's never put Steven in that situation.
Okay.
But I do think that Steven is obviously the heir apparent. And if we're talking football, guys, this guy was raised in it.
Yeah.
I mean, this truly is his profession, is the Dallas Cowboys. Nothing else, no oil. That's part of the business. But his business is the Dallas Cowboys. And when you are around him, you get the sense that, yeah, Jerry goes and does. And the thing that you're going to find most strange when you are around Steven is he calls Jerry. He doesn't say him dad or daddy. He says, well, Jerry, he calls him Jerry.
I mean, I think it'd be weird.
I know, in person. Now, in private, it's dad. It's daddy. But
Yeah.
in person, it's Jerry, and he views him as his boss.
Yeah.
And he treats him and is treated like that. So he's the business side of things. And he's also the first one to tell you the truth. I mean, he sees his dad dancing around the truth. What Steven is a product of his dad, and he has to clean up the messes, and he has to pay the guys that Jerry wants to get paid, even though he might not want to pay him as much or not enough, whatever the case might be. He is still second in command. And while he's not the fall guy, he is still very much second in command.
Congratulations to Corey, who is is going to get those tickets to see Sebastian Maniscalco. Crazy Joe Gallo.
Crazy Joe.
Not Joey Gallo, the first baseman, former Rangers outfielder, I guess. Joey Gallo.
Field Albert Anastasia.
Yeah, but
Murder
different
Incorporated.
Joe Gallo. And also, I guess while we're congratulating victors, Chris Villasenor.
Yeah.
Who won the Rangers giveaway that we did on social media the other day, or it's maybe been a week by now, or close to a week. Got all kind of a huge package of Rangers swag, but also I don't want to brag, but thanks to me, got Rangers tickets as well. You know, Ryan was like, well, let's just give him all these tchotchkes. Let's give him like a miniature World Series trophy and a bobblehead and a T-shirt. And I said, no, friend.
Well, that was far more valuable than the tickets, I think.
Let's get in some tickets too. Let's get him to the games. That's what real fans care about, is the games.
I like the swag.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't need swag. I want to go. I want to feel it. I want to feel the moment. But Chris Villasenor gets the best of both worlds. So he gets a Marcus Semien bobblehead. He can wear his Corey Seager jersey, and he can go to the game. That's a win-win-win right there.
I think so. Is that jersey a medium?
I don't know what size it is. I didn't. I would assume that most prize T-shirts, they usually just go with extra large,
which can very quickly turn into a medium.
Depending on the person.
If you're not careful.
Depending on the person. So congrats to both our winners. Love having winners around here. Dakota Prescott was also talked to yesterday. And this may be the most interesting thing that came out of yesterday. I liked hearing Jerry talk about Dak, and it was like there was maybe some Easter eggs being dropped there. Well, when they asked Dak about his future with the Cowboys.
It's a two-way street that they have once, I have once. I think I've deserved that. Understanding that this is a business, and obviously I want to be here. Talking about growing up, this is where I've become a man. So, but at the end of the day, it's a business, and when I'm gonna say. I want to be here, but when you look up, all the great quarterbacks I watched played for other teams. So my point in saying that is that's not something to fear. It may be a reality for me one day, may not be my decision. So that's the freedom that I have is be where your feet are, make the most of it, be confident in yourself, make your team better. I love my teammates. I love that locker room. I love everything about being out here in Oxnard and being a Dallas Cowboy. So that's what allows me to be free and focused and understand that and time comes, who knows what comes. As I said, I've been through a lot of adversity personally, that it's about, being thankful for where you are, hugging and loving on your loved ones and taking it one day at a time and handling the rest when it approaches.
Now, he's right that often the all-time greats end up playing somewhere else. That said, if you were to rank the three greatest quarterbacks in Dallas Cowboys history, all three of them played their entire career with the Dallas Cowboys. Am I right?
Well, yeah.
Staubach, Aikman, Tony Romo.
Yes.
All played their entire careers with the Dallas Cowboys. So while, yes, you can point to the Joe Montana was a Kansas City Chief, Tom Brady was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, Peyton Manning was a Denver Bronco. That is a thing that's happened more and more and more over the years, but I mean, Brett Favre played for the freaking Minnesota Vikings like the sworn enemy of the Packers.
But
Aaron Rodgers is now a Jet.
But the league is different than it was before. You couldn't leave if you wanted to. I mean, if Staubach wanted to leave, he couldn't have. Their free agency was impossible. Aikman,
for him,
too.
sure. No, not for Aikman.
Oh no, that during that period, it was not easy to leave. It wasn't.
Like I said,
once they had you, they had you.
Like I said, Joe Montana played for the Kansas City Chiefs,
and San Francisco let him go. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, they had Steve Young, and I just don't think the application is the previous two. I think the league is different, but more than anything else, doesn't it sound like he's resigned to it too? I mean,
it really does.
I think that they have mutually agreed to reestablish connection after the season. And we're not going to talk about it unless we're asked, and they're going to play through it. At least Dak will.
I think the writing's kind of on the wall, and it's. To me, it makes this all the more interesting because now if Dak goes out and imagine Dak takes his team to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
What I mean, do the Cowboys have a choice but to give him whatever he wants? I don't think they do. It's almost like when Joe Flacco won the Super Bowl with the Ravens. I don't know if I still don't know if the Ravens intended to sign him. I don't know if they really wanted to in their hearts of hearts wanted to tie their wagon to Joe Flacco, but he just won a Super Bowl. What do you say? Beat it. You can't.
Well, at that point, Jerry can justify spending the money.
Yeah.
At that point, he can, write the check because you've done it, and I think that's what Jerry wants.
Well, also Jerry feels like he can probably die. Then he's like, whatever. I've won a Super Bowl.
At that point, you can mortgage the future because you got the ring.
Yep. And nothing else matters. And then if he doesn't, I mean, Dak said himself, he's going to get it somewhere.
Oh, there's no doubt. He knows it. He knows no matter what, by the end of February, I would say, he's going to be the highest paid player in the history of the football. At least for a moment.
Yep.
He will be, for that length of time, the highest paid player in NFL history. He knows it. Whether he's walking in, limping in, got a sling on, it's going to happen. He's the happiest guy in camp.
And Bobby said Dak compared himself to an all-time great. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's the part that he's got to prove still. I mentioned a bunch of dudes who are all-time greats. Dak has to get there at some point. He's got to prove it at some point.
Do you feel like this is a positive thing for the Cowboys in that it is a win or go home kind of year where literally we know where the period is. The period will be at the end of this sentence, not a comma like last year or the year before. This is it. It's either championship or all the paint gets brushed off and we find a new coat. Do you like this, or is it unfair
I like it.
to look at it like this?
I do like it. I worry that there will be some kind of way that it won't be. Like you talked about
the unintended consequence of the actions you've taken.
You talked about maybe Dak signing like just a 1-year extension for huge money or something to keep him like, let's kick this can down the road a little bit. That would disappoint me. I want this year to know. I want to know something at the end of this year. I want to know the real direction of this franchise. And it feels like they've been delaying and putting off, like deciding what the direction is going to be. But I think having a season where your coach's job is on the line, your quarterback's job is on the line, fascinates me.
Well, if your head coach's job is on the line, every coach's job is on the line.
Yes.
So you're going into a
Except
season.
maybe the DC that you just.
No, Jerry's fired him before.
That's true.
It won't be the first time he's let this cat go. So if you know that at the end of this season, everything is gone. I like that. I always liken it, and I use this analogy too much, but when at the end of in the Tet Offensive in Vietnam, General Westmoreland, after they got attacked, got all of his commanders in the room, say, you know what? This is it. Whatever happens now, we'll decide the future. And I'll tell you what, let's plan for the worst. Write your obit. And act like you're already gone. And that's what he's telling his Cowboys to do. You want it? Go get it. I don't like the situation we're in, but here we are. Go get it.
And CD might say, oh, I want Dak here. Jerry can look CD in the face and say, well, you better make sure he wins.
And you might need to take less to do it.
And that's to me, that's another, it just, the storylines are so good right now. I don't want it to go away. I don't want it to go away before the season starts. Not that I don't want guys like CD to get paid, because I think that's now you're talking about
that'll add to it.
But now you're talking about the future. I'm talking about this season determines the fate of Dak and McCarthy, and it's like I mean, we've talked about it in the way that it's unprecedented that this level of quarterback and coach have been lame ducks going into the season. I don't necessarily view it as a bad thing myself. I view it as entertainment. Like this is,
and there is no tomorrow. Act like it. There is no tomorrow.
Yep. And that means, what Dak did, and Dak's probably looking at it as, dude, I played about as well as I could last year. And we heard Jerry and Steven both address that one game, and they can pretend like that's not all that matters. But that's all that matters. It really is. Because if Dak is 12th in the MVP voting this year and they play in the Super Bowl, the Cowboys fans, everybody's a lot happier than they were at the end of last year, where Dak was second in the MVP voting and quite honestly probably should have won the MVP
if it weren't for
I mean, if from a statistical standpoint, he was more deserving than Lamar Jackson, just to be quite honest. So but that's not what they want.
Nope.
That's not what they're looking for. All right, let's hit a break. We'll get off the Cowboys. Oh, yeah, we'll get off the Cowboys for a little bit. And then we've got coming up at 9:00. We've got, or maybe even at 8:30, we'll do it. We'll do that college football discussion at 8:30. We may have to bring Edwin in here to explain that Edwin believes that Central Florida can win a national championship in football because Edwin is
it's possible, baby.
He's got the reefer.
They've already
madness.
won one. Ask Coach Frost. They already did.
Plenty more where that came from. We'll be right back. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, fantasy football general managers and commissioners, I'm talking to you. The drafts are around the corner, and there's no better place than Twin Peaks to host your draft. And commissioners, if you decide to go ahead and reserve your spot for the draft, there's a $50 Ring It Back card just waiting for you. And everybody who shows up gets a $5 card just for being part of that fantasy team. A little bit for you, a little bit for your team, and a whole lot for everybody at Twin Peaks. No better place to spend a long time because no matter where you're sitting, every TV is going to be available to you. The sports you want are there. All the drink specials and all the things that go along with a fantastic fantasy draft are right there at your fingertips. Man, I wish Twin Peaks was doing this a long time ago. Now you can do it. Go to twinpeaks.com for all the details there to reserve your spot at any of the Twin Peaks around San Antonio. There are 4 of them, one of them close to you right now. The ideal place to host your draft. Let them take care of all the logistics. You go wrangle them cats you call the team in your league. That's Twin Peaks. The eats are always spectacular. The drinks are icy cold, but why do we go? It's those scenic views.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, man, it was a wild day at Cowboys camp yesterday. What's going to happen today? We'll go there and talk with John Machota at 5:15.
At 3:35, the Lori Markkinen news still out there. Brett Siegel from Clutch Points, the National NBA insider, will join us to give us the latest on the Lori Markkinen situation. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-204-4240. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-204-4240. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-204-4240.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hello, San Antonio. This is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our waterfront land sale this Saturday, July 27th, where you can own land in a waterfront community starting at just $49.9. That's right, $49.9. Don't miss this opportunity to own coastal waterfront land priced below market value. Estates with panoramic sunset and sunrise views, excellent fishing, pool, cabana, pier, boat slips, and boat launch. Each estate has paved road frontage and underground utilities. This one-day sale is this Saturday, July 27th, by appointment only. Call now, 210-853-0389. That's 210-853-0389. Call 210-853-0389. For your priority showing, call now. Don't miss this opportunity. Call 210-853-0389.
For your priority showing, call now.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime.
El Chapo's son called your brother. A lawyerforus.com.
Yeah, that'd be a call. You get get a sense that this
Hello,
was
Jason Thompson.
Oh, this is El Mayo.
This is Baby Chapo.
Baby Chapo. You better call 225-2121. The bond on this cat's going to be kind of big.
Yeah.
I hope AA Best is ready for that phone call. I've been reading about this. This feels so much like a TV series. They lured El Chapo's son. They tricked these guys into getting on a plane in Mexico, but they didn't know the plane was flying to the United States. So these guys get on a plane, they fly him to El Paso, they grab him as fast as they can, and then they fly him to some part in the United States we don't know. They think it's in Chicago. I mean, this sounds like, what's the Bateman show on Netflix?
Ozark.
Ozark. This feels very Ozarkish.
So they thought, oh, we're flying from Mexico City to Matamoros or something like that.
The DEA lured these guys, Chapo's son and this other dude called El Mayo, who's actually the de facto head of the part of this Sinaloa cartel. This is like a book, man. So then they trick them onto this plane. The whole intent is to fly them to El Paso, which they landed on base. They touched down right there in on the other side of Juarez, and grab those dudes and immediately jet to Chicago to hide him out.
Oh, I've seen this El Mayo before. Like, his face looks familiar to me. Man, that's a big balls move.
This is one of those that we're going to see a 2-hour National Geographic special on how they pinned down El Mayo.
Yeah.
And El Guapo, otherwise known as El Chapo's little boy.
Yeah.
El Chapito.
Joaquin is El Chapo's son's name. Joaquin Guzman Lopez. Man, good job, DEA.
That's cool. I can't wait to hear more about it.
I mean, I don't know. What are these guys doing? What's the big crime?
Fentanyl.
Oh, yeah. I'm against fentanyl.
I mean, Sinaloa started out with just weed. Have you seen the movie?
Yeah, stick with weed, man.
Yeah, man, you're doing a good deed then.
Yeah. Now fentanyl,
things went south. You went the wrong way.
Yeah.
We're gonna bury you under the jail.
I mean, they always told us weed was a gateway drug, and
look what it did to them.
For El Chapo, apparently it was. The Major League Baseball trade deadline is approaching, and we're in business. We are in business. Trades are happening now. The Mariners, who have needed some offense, went and got some.
Here it goes.
They get Randy Arozarena.
My favorite name in all of baseball.
Arozarena. They traded two low-level minor league outfielders, two low-level minor leaguers, an outfielder named Aiden Smith and a right-hander named Brady Hopkins, as well as a player to be named later. So didn't give up a lot, though Arozarena is hitting .211 this year.
He's going to be protected a little bit better in Seattle.
And I think the hope is that he can just, he can return to form somehow.
So do the Astros match their intensity?
I mean, I think they probably need to, but the Mariners they're probably their two best offensive players, Julio Rodriguez and JP Crawford, are both on the IL. So they were in desperation mode. I was reading more. I mean, I know the Astros are going to be trying to make some moves, but I was reading about the Texas Rangers, and the Texas Rangers are certainly going to be making some moves. Whereas they were kind of in a weird purgatory. It seems now that the Rangers are, because they've played so well lately, they've caught up to the pack. We're going to see the Rangers, who were thought to be maybe sellers, change their tune and become buyers here. Ken Rosenthal wrote a story. It talked about the Rangers improving their postseason odds. A month ago, they had a 5.5% chance to make the playoffs. Now they're over 25%. They've won 12 of their last 16 games. They're now one game under 500, and they're getting back some key guys: Dane Dunning, Jacob deGrom, Cody Bradford, those names at the top. But they're talking about adding a bat still. Yandy Diaz, another Tampa Bay Ray. They talk about him as a possible fit. He has not played since the All-Star break. He's on the restricted list for personal reasons. I don't know what that would mean. But now it seems the Rangers are going to be buyers instead of sellers.
Are
where
you
we
sure?
thought
You're comfortable with that?
I think it's embarrassing if you win the World Series and then you miss the playoffs the next year in an era of playoffs, and you're paying guys like Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom, who left their situations because they didn't want to waste their time.
Well, Scherzer, I'm not sure I hang to this guy.
Well, they don't have a choice.
Well, somebody would like to have a nice Max Scherzer to close things down. What about Uvalde?
Max Scherzer has a no trade clause, and he's already said, I don't want to waive. He's like, I want to be here. To me, that puts the pressure back on the Rangers.
Then send him back to the Mets. They're already paying him. I'm not kidding. The reason I say that, Houston's about to have to do something. Seattle's already doing something. You got a 1 in 3 chance.
Yeah,
and they're the weakest of the three. I think that Scherzer, they're going to try to move him. I wouldn't be surprised if Uvalde's gone too.
I don't know if I think they're the weakest of the three, because
probably Seattle.
I think especially when this rotation gets healthy, they've got better bats than Seattle's got. Randy Arozarena doesn't put Seattle over the top. Seattle's been kind of overperforming all season long, but I think the Rangers are going to go for it.
Well, Scherzer's what? How old is he? He ain't got too much longer.
No, he's older, but He's still an effective pitcher.
No, I'm not saying he's not. That's why I kind of look at it. If I got a 1-3 shot and I can move Scherzer back to where he's from and get something, Uvalde, he's a hell of a closer. But yeah,
I don't think I don't think Max Scherzer wants to leave. And
he has said that, and that is the key. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Rangers look at the landscape and go, we got enough talent here to kind of, if we can bolster it next year, come back with a vengeance, because it appears to me that the Astros are headed in another direction. And Seattle, like you just said, they're not all that. But this year, and you only got 4 days to decide.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And the Rangers and the Astros are amongst teams that might benefit from the agreement between Major League Baseball and the Players Association that is enabling the league to send a portion of competitive balance tax proceeds to teams that are losing TV money. The Astros, the Rangers, the Padres are also in this conversation of teams that are losing money on their TV deals.
It's that RSN problem.
Yeah.
They're dealing with it too.
They all pay in revenue sharing. Meanwhile, their regional sports network income is down. So now it used to be only the revenue sharing recipients were eligible to receive these proceeds. The new plan means that teams can give teams up to $15 million each, regardless of their status in the rev share program, with a limit of $75 million in those payments league wide. But it looks like the Astros and Rangers, who, like you said, their sports networks have not done them right, would be set to benefit.
So, I mean, I get it, but this is a bit of socialism. This is a bit of, I understand the greater good. We can't let some of these teams turn into what they are. But, the fix is not the revenue sharing. The fix is finding the next step in the way that your broadcasts are channeled to your fans.
No, I agree.
I
agree
think
more.
This is a Band-Aid. Yeah, I get it. You're trying to help, but the real problem has not been solved yet.
I don't know when it's going to be solved. Because again, until Major League Baseball says, okay, your TV rights are our TV rights now, and we're going to distribute it this way. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Because I know that the Yes Network is the sole reason the Yankees are as I mean, their cable deal is preeminent. They make more money off that than anything they do. And I know that the polar opposite of that is like the Royals. I mean, their cable deal's nothing.
I'll be honest. I don't understand how in 2024 we aren't to the point where I can't just watch every team's baseball game every day, however I want to watch it. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't. And, the democratization of sports is following the democratization of music. We went through this with music, with LimeWire and all this stuff about 10, 15 years ago, where they were just trying to figure out, how the hell do I get my music?
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to have to find a way. This is how I feel like baseball and basketball are going through right now. We know they're going to find the way. It's going to get to us because they have to get it to us. It's their lifeblood. But they're also going to try to rake as much off the top as they can, and they're finding out that the rake was too big, and they foiled what was a good deal, and now are stuck having their other owners pay them out. How long are the Yankees going to be willing to pay the Rangers $15 million a year? That ain't going to last very long.
I can't imagine. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk some college football. And we had an off-air debate about who can really win a championship at this point. I think the list is very short. Rob and Edwin think the list is much, much longer. We'll debate next. The Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Grilling season is year-round here in San Antonio, but the summer, it is the peak times. We're only about a couple of weeks away from the end of the grilling season, but Tri-County, they're waiting on you right now. Head over to Tri-County today and get the very best for the weekend. It's the perfect time to add something different to your grill. You're probably a little tired of the regular stuff. I recommend grab yourself a couple stuff that Tri-County's already put together this week, and go get one of those avocado bombs. If you haven't had it, it is just about the best thing you'll put in your mouth, except for what you have after that, the stuffed chicken breasts, which are Chicken breast the size of footballs, stuffed full of all the good kind of stuff that you can't find anywhere else. Go look at and see what I'm talking about at either one of the Tri-County locations. If that's too much for you, get some prepared fajita meats, both beef and chicken. You can cut them with a warm breath, or maybe it's time to get one of those gigantic, perfectly cut, perfectly aged, ready to sear and eat tomahawk beautiful steaks. They've got them. You're not going to find them prettier than what they've got right there. And if you like the bone out, you're looking for the porterhouse or all those special steaks, of course, they've got it. Now you see what I'm talking about when I talk about Tri-County. It's a meat toy store. If you're into the grilling game, there's no better place to start. Head over to either one of those locations. Take advantage of the 5 for 25. Don't leave without getting on the email list. If you're a first responder, you're getting 10% off what are already great deals. A great meal starts with great meat coming from Tri-County Meat Market. Head over to Huebner, out on Ralph Fair, grab some good meat, put it on the grill. I know you're going to be thanking me later.
San Antonio's Sports Star.
3 bands, 1 stadium. Journey, Def Leppard. The Steve Miller Band. 3 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons. Their biggest hits. Friday, August 16th, Alamo Dome. Tickets on sale now at DefLeppardJourney2024.com.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Diamonds Direct's summer sale is here. Shop now and get an extra 20% off Diamonds Direct's renowned prices. Get 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. That's 20% off, plus $100 off store-wide. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their newest designs. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, engagement rings, and more, 20% off. Now to July 28th. Ends this Sunday at 5 p.m. Details at DiamondsDirect.com.
Come to the mega sale at Baseball Express. Everything baseball and softball, bats and gloves, steel and molded cleats, performance gear, and all other equipment must go. 75% off all apparel and footwear, and up to 60% off everything else. Baseball Express on East Nakoma.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
All right, Morning Huddle, 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. College football coming up quick. I'm a believer that it's going to become even harder and harder for the have-nots. I know everybody's like, well, there's more opportunities because they're going to be in the playoff.
Yes.
That's nice.
Define have-not.
Have-not national championships.
Okay.
Yes, more people are going to be invited to the party. Less people are going to have a chance to actually be the prom king.
See, I don't get your reasoning. I don't understand how you can have more available to win it, but fewer are actually going to do it.
Because BYU can get to or I guess BYU's in a conference now.
Big 12.
Yeah, I was trying to think before the shift, like when Cincinnati got to the party. Cincinnati, when they came from the G5, they made the 4-team playoff. It was awesome that they made the playoff.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not talking about G5 schools. I'm not talking about UTSA, Sam Houston State, these edge schools. I'm not talking about that. But when you talk about the Big Ten schools like Penn State, I think is the perfect type of school that we're talking about. The big state school that has unlimited resources as far as alumni money. They have the destination, they have the lineage, and all they need is a couple of good players 1 year to go and get it.
What's kept Penn State from getting it so far?
Just being invited to the party. You couldn't get past. I'm not saying they're better than Michigan, and the good thing about this kind of tournament is you might not ever have to play them.
You can't get past the elite teams.
But what I'm saying is once you get into the tournament,
now you've got to beat 4 in a row elite teams.
Not all the time. We're talking about maybe this time you're playing a team later in the year than earlier in the year. Some of these things, there is some variance that matters. And every year in every conference, the third place team on a good day could beat everybody in the country. I could say that about the third place team in the Big Ten. I could say that about the SEC. On a good day, could beat anybody in the country. Now, can they do it 3 times in a row? We're going to find out. But what will happen every year is a 1, 2, or 3 seed's going to get knocked off early. And then suddenly all bets are off. And then things happen like the NCAA tournament. Yes, Blue Bloods still live in the NCAA tournament, and it's death, taxes, and Duke in the Final Four. I agree with you. But at the same time, San Diego State, Florida, Central Florida, all these random schools that you see there that have far less of a lineage and far less money involved, get there. They get there and had the opportunity. I think that schools...
And then they lose, inevitably.
Well, not inevitably, but they do often lose. But the opportunity is there, and you're not going to tell me that schools like Penn State or Oregon are not in a better position today than they were before. They are. They have a better shot of winning a national title today. And I'm only talking about Power 5 schools. I think if you're a G5, you're screwed. You are. You're going to be fighting for one of 4.
A G5 program is done. They're never going to win a title again.
You are now in it for the money and the prestige of the Peach Bowl. That's kind of what you're chasing, but that's okay.
Oregon has never won a national title, and their path just got imminently more difficult.
Well, they got tougher games, but they can afford to lose 1 or 2 of them now. Whereas before, no matter how good they were in December, if they lost 1 or 2 in October, nobody was going to give them a shot. You never knew what they were capable of. Now we will, and I promise you, there's a lot of teams that are going to be playing better in December than they were in September when those weird losses happened to them.
Now, mind you say they never would have gotten a shot. It's only been about 5 years that the Pac-12 stock has really been where it is, where it was most recent. Like the Pac-12 used to be a pretty respected college football conference, and Oregon wasn't getting there out of there. I mean, just right now, USC can't. I mean, USC is the most respected of those Pac-12 schools. They couldn't get out of there because no one was good enough.
Not recently, but I don't think you're throwing into the equation the transfer portal in the NIL, which is the new variant in this equation. We're now overnight, we saw Dion bring in 35 dudes. Overnight, you can transform a program. Maybe not for 4 years or 5 years, But a guy with some money can go and buy 30 blue chip football players. And for at least a year, you're in it.
You're right. Colorado, who got every transfer that they wanted last year. They have a Heisman type quarterback who's going to be a first round draft pick. They had all those things, and they went 4-8 last year because it's not real.
Well, we'll see. But
because you can get some guys, and that's fine, and you can get. It's not like college basketball. No, the new real is not that in football. In basketball, it is that, because 2 or 3 guys can make such an impact in basketball. In college football, what it's been about is, and what I think it's going to be even more about, is how good is your second left tackle? Right. How good is your third edge rusher? And the Georgias and Alabamas historically have had, in Ohio State, those types of programs.
And they're not going anywhere.
If anything, they're getting stronger.
No, they're not. You know why? Because the second stringer who didn't start this year is taking the money and running. The third stringer that you're talking about has to have the depth. That dude is gone. So now everybody's third stringer looks like that.
Where's Arch Manning going this year? Where's he playing?
We can pull. I'm not talking about what wins you titles is not that.
Answer why Arch Manning is staying.
Because he's got all kinds of money to keep him there.
That's what do you think is going to keep happening with these schools?
You know what? Right now, Rutgers has the top 2 of the 5 basketball recruits in the country. Right now, Rutgers does. That's not going to be forever, but right now they do. And every year there's going to be a right now they do kind of team. Like, not every year are we going to see this school with a wide receiver, running back, and a quarterback that went to high school together and they all love each other. But this year we do. And that's going to pop up every year.
And you know what? Rutgers probably makes the tournament because of those 2 guys. If a couple best buddies that are top recruits, a top quarterback and his wide receiver buddy go to Rutgers next year, guess what? Rutgers goes 4-8 in football because it doesn't matter. You need
okay, here's the
depth.
Best example. Bo Nix cannot get anywhere in the Auburn. Cannot get anywhere. A respected middle-of-the-road SEC quarterback goes to Oregon. Not only does he become a Heisman candidate, he vaults himself up into first-round draft pick land and throws for 5,000, whatever yards he threw for last year, what he would have never, ever done at Auburn. But Oregon picked it up, and suddenly they were that much better. Look at what Miami's done with Cam Akers. There, you can get yourself so much better, so much faster now than you ever could, and it's not a long-term thing. It's a 1-year fix. But that flattens the mayonnaise. It evens the playing field. And 3 deep is a dream now. 2 deep wins titles. 3 deep no longer is a thing. That third guy is already gone.
I disagree because I think now that third guy gets enough coin that he's like, oh, I'm going to the NFL anyway.
Well, I get coin and can start someplace else. I think the basketballization of football is coming. You can deny it.
I disagree completely.
It's coming.
Edwin sent his list of teams. I said the number of teams that can win a title in college football in the next 20 years. Like if I circled 8 teams, I'd feel very confident that nobody outside of those 8 teams will win in the next 20 years. And I'd take them against the field every single time. Edwin sends this list that has...
He's right. In fact, it's short. There's not enough teams on this list that can win it all. I'm telling you. It's going to happen sooner than later.
Like, there's teams on this list that don't win championships in the old way.
That's just it. The old way is no longer the new way. That what used to be, it's no longer that. The transfer portal, the money, and you don't got to be undefeated to go to the party. You can lose 4 games and be in the top 12, and you can do it against stellar competition.
If you lose 4 games, you aren't a championship caliber
team.
You
aren't in the regular season, but it doesn't mean you don't get hot in the last 3. We've never seen this before, and to assume that it won't happen is nuts.
I assume that it doesn't happen because this isn't basketball, where it's like like that's what's so wild about a single elimination basketball term is really any given. I mean, a team can get hot and win 3 games in a row that they shouldn't win. That doesn't happen in football.
We don't know. We haven't had the opportunity to see.
Vanderbilt never shows up on their SEC schedule and beats Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee in a row because it's not possible.
Well, we've never had to see it. What I'm saying, AJ, is you might be right, but we have never had an opportunity for a mid-level team to find themselves really, really good at the end of the year. A quarterback's been hurt that comes back that's missed a couple of games. Suddenly injuries are back and those teams were discounted because they lost 2 or 3 games. Now they're fully functioning and going into a tournament. I'm telling you, we are going to see things that we didn't expect because the rules have changed.
See, I think the rule change is going to take the teams that are I think there's going to be two teams that are screwed in this deal. Teams that have been good but aren't going to have the NIL backing that a lot of their peers have. And I think I'll give you an example. I think a real good example of that is Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma is going to have a hard time in this new NIL era. Like, I mean, we talked about this a few months ago, how, I mean, Oklahoma as a school is basically bankrupt. I think it's going to be difficult for them to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak.
Well, what goes on inside the educational arm of a school is very different from the money that goes on in the athletic.
No, you're
department.
right. But I think Auburn is going to have a hard time because, I mean, if they weren't Alabama, I think Alabama would be on this list of teams that are going to have a hard time keeping up because they do not have the NIL backing of,
They do. What are you talking about? Auburn and Alabama have as much money as anybody in the country.
You're absolutely wrong on this. You're absolutely wrong. That Nick Saban has said as much. He's like, we can't compete with Texas and Tennessee when it comes to money.
Uh-huh.
I believe him. Name an Alabama alum who's given a bunch of money to that school.
There's a lot of.
You're talking about the Chevy dealer in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
I don't discount the money that's flowing through Alabama. They're doing fine.
Okay.
They're doing fine. Nobody is being outspent in the SEC or Big Ten. They all have essentially the same amount of money. It's how they allocate it. Everybody got about $10 million to spend. Now, Texas has a bit more, and so will Notre Dame will always have a bit more, but they will all have the money to get the guy they want.
All right. We'll continue this conversation on the other side. I want to hear who else you would add to this list. And I want to make bets that these teams will not. Like, I don't even know if I can circle 8 teams. I might only need 7. We'll talk about this next. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text STAPLE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text STAPLE to 321-321. That's STAPLE to 321-321.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Come to the mega sale at Baseball Express. Everything baseball and softball, bats and gloves, steel and molded cleats, performance gear, and all other equipment must go. 75% off all apparel and footwear, and up to 60% off everything else. Baseball Express on East Nakoma.
What's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? Settling for less money. That never happens with Orchard. Hi, Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Disappointing offers can wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less. You don't have to settle when you sell with Orchard. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale and helping you sell on the market for top dollar. First, Orchard lists your home for top dollar. Then they make you an impressive guaranteed backup cash offer. This gives you the confidence to hold out for the price you deserve. Here's what one Orchard customer said. Quote, the peace of mind of the guaranteed offer is why I went with Orchard. And when you sell for more, the rest is yours. My home sold on the market for far more than I expected. With Orchard's guaranteed cash offer, you never have to settle for less. Curious what Orchard will pay you for your home? Visit Orchard.com for a free, no obligation cash offer. That's Orchard.com.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter. Locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America NA.
San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio Sports Center.
Dallas Cowboys began training camp with Jerry offering the State of the Union. He, Stephen Jones, and Mike McCarthy offered their opinions on the season to come. With deals with Dak, CD, and Micah looming, Jerry spoke. You'll hear it all today on San Antonio Sports Star. The Houston Astros return to action after the day off. They'll welcome the Los Angeles Dodgers in the Minute Maid, first pitch at 7:10. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Yeah, we're back. The Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. The discussion is who can win the national championship. I've got a list of 7. I said I was going to need 8. I think I'm just going to take 7 and let you have the field. I'm feeling generous. And I'm going to preface it by saying the days of winning national titles for the ACC, the Big 12, those are done. They're not going to win. And that includes Clemson and Florida State. Now, Clemson and Florida State may eventually get to the SEC, and then they might win. But until they are in the SEC, they're not going to have the money to back them to get the players they need. And Dabo is baby Jimbo Fisher. He is a dinosaur that won and says, well, I won doing dinosaur stuff. I'm always going to do dinosaur stuff. I don't have to change. I won. And then the times change and it's like, oh man, I'm a dinosaur. And Jimbo Fisher, it's finally come clear.
Howdy.
I think that day of reckoning is going to come for Dabo Swinney, that he realizes, oh, the way I used to do it doesn't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that means Clemson figures it out first or Dabo figures it out and just walks away.
Oh, and what do they figure out? That you can't hold on to talent, that talent will matriculate where there's availability and money.
Yeah.
So I still don't get your argument.
Well,
that the talent that he had, you think it's they're going to Clemson, going from Clemson to Alabama? Where do you think that talent that used to go to Clemson is going?
Wherever the money is.
Oh, okay.
And wherever. So here's what kids are looking for now. They are looking for who's going to get me to the NFL and who's going to get me paid while I wait to get there.
So titles third
at best. Do you agree with that or disagree?
Absolutely. Well, I think there's something you're chasing notoriety, and titles bring that. But
I'm
but
sure
you're
they'd
making
like to
every
win.
argument for why other schools are suddenly going to be available to do this.
Okay.
So what are your 7?
My 7 are Michigan and Ohio State.
Now, keeping in mind, Michigan couldn't do it until Harbaugh got there, and now he's gone.
Michigan's probably the last one on my list.
Okay.
If I had to drop one right now, it'd be Michigan.
So really, you only have 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe Ohio State is in 5 years the only viable Midwest football program, like from a national title standpoint.
Even more than Ohio State.
I'm saying Ohio State's the only one.
Oh, I thought you said Michigan. Yeah, okay.
No, Ohio State's
going
to be the only one.
They have been the consistent.
It's so hard to get the highest end talent to come to those schools to that part of the country because nobody wants to play in the cold. And it's hard to convince the best talent from, because used to Ohio, Pennsylvania, those were football hotbeds. Now you got to keep those kids from leaving and going to California or, the SEC belt. That's tough to do. So it takes a special thing to be viable in that part of the world, which is why we've seen the demise of Cornhusker football and all. I mean, it's just I think all those schools are going to be a bunch of Wisconsins pretty soon, which they're going to be. You'll be Big Ten good, but you won't be national title good. Michigan, Ohio State, which if we want to throw out Michigan, we can.
No,
I don't need them.
Current
I
champion.
don't need them.
But if you want to throw down, go down to 6.
Texas, Alabama, LSU, Florida, Georgia. That's all I need. That's all I need. These are programs that have a history of winning and putting people in the NFL. And they have enough money behind them that they're gonna keep doing it. So
you left Notre Dame off that list
intentionally. I put them in the same category as Michigan. It's in a dying part of the world where it's not going to last forever. Nobody wants to go play at Notre Dame anymore.
What?
They don't.
I'd be the first to want to agree with you, but I think you're discounting that there are people from that part of the world that take great pride in playing Big Ten football in Pennsylvania
and that's cute.
Ohio. Oh, it's not cute. It's national championship worthy. I mean,
when was Notre Dame's last national title?
Well, I'm just saying Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame, they're all chasing the same dudes and always have.
And Ohio State and Michigan have gotten them.
And so is Notre Dame. Notre Dame's been there.
And Notre Dame's rotated coaches because they can't win. You know what? Remember, Notre Dame did show up to the national title game and they literally got plowed, and to an extent they were humiliated.
You are of the belief that what was still is. Notre Dame has more money than every school you just talked about. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame does. So, and they have more financial backing. They have more NIL money. Hell, they got the Catholic Church behind them. So if you're looking for resources and TV stuff, Notre Dame has to be on the list, and they have been title contenders. The ones I agree with everyone you put on there, but the ones that you left off are certainly still viable and have you didn't put Auburn on there. They're a recent title holder. Tennessee.
Yeah.
Georgia wasn't anything until Kirby got there.
Yeah.
And you say 20 years from now, long after Kirby's gone, they're still going to be the cream of the crop, Georgia.
Well, I think
it was 30 years before that they weren't.
I think Kirby will find the next guy, and the next, like Georgia is a program that has enough money behind it and has the natural resources that they're going to find the next Kirby.
And to say that Oklahoma won't be back Tennessee, it's so short-sighted to say that just because they haven't done it. Now it is easier than ever to get there. All you got to do is be at the dance.
Oklahoma,
and there will be a team like Oklahoma that'll win a title in the next 3 years that'll turn your opinion on its side. We have not seen this before. New coaches are taking the place. Saban ran because he couldn't hold on to the talent. He knew that his second stringers, the guys that are watching the first stringers play, if I don't keep them happy, they're gone. And they're going to go to my opponent or someplace else and start and be good. That's going to be it's such a transient thing. Now, I will agree that in the next 5 years, if they don't address the portal problem, it's going to be chaos. It'll be what I'm talking about. If they do address it and they do what's right, they're there for 2 years and one transfer and really kind of protect talent for more than a year, then we'll see a regression back to what you're talking about. But if the rules stay as they are now, it's wide open, man. It is wide open.
Oklahoma played in a very, very winnable conference for years and years and years and years.
They've won a lot of titles, man.
When was their last one? You're talking about what the past is like. Yeah, Notre Dame and Oklahoma are dinosaurs, dude. Oklahoma they haven't won a title since the year 2000. That's not like, it's not like the SNL skit where it's like in the year.
Well, keep in mind,
it's not the future.
Only 4 teams have been invited to this party every year. Only 4. And normally one of them was a group of 5 team that had no business even being
Only
there.
one time a group of 5 team made it.
The 4th team always has 9 other teams go, what? So now all of those 9 teams are there. All the other ones that had the debate. And you're going to say it's still going to go chalk.
Yes.
You're crazy.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, when it comes to football, like these teams that have the depth and the, like for some of these schools, I'll use an example, like for Miami. When Miami gets a 5-star player at this point, it's like, it's news now. This isn't like, it's not.
Lowly Miami is paying their quarterback $5 million this year. Lowly Miami.
Yeah. You think Miami's got any chance to win a title?
Well, what I'm saying is they have a top 5 quarterback. They chose to go get one, and they went and got themselves a Heisman candidate.
And what does that get you? It gets you,
depending on the school,
it gets you 50.
It gets you a championship.
It gets you 55-1 to win the national title this year.
It's Miami. But what I'm saying is you have the pieces, and you just need a quarterback. You can go get one where you couldn't do that before. Now you can actively say, I need a senior quarterback, and you can go buy one.
Notre Dame did that last year.
Never been possible.
Notre Dame did it last year with Sam Hartman.
And it damn near worked.
Damn near.
And they're going to keep coming. And for you to expect just 7 teams have any kind of shot over the next 20 years, I'll take the field every year.
Okay.
Every year.
Edwin's list had Clemson, Florida State, Miami, Central Florida, Houston, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, USC, Texas, Texas A&M, Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Florida, Oklahoma, Georgia, Tennessee. You said that his list is short.
I think it is. I'd throw a Mississippi school in there. I think that there's others around Washington was a contender last year and will continue to be so. The Arizona schools, just because we've forgotten about them, the Big 12 is going to be set up to play a different kind of football. And they're going to throw a team in every year that does things differently, that throws a different way, that plays a style that if you're not ready,
it will be cute.
Can run past you in a couple of games.
It will be
not
cute.
A couple, just one, where one of those 7 that you've put in the field is suddenly gone because they weren't ready. And then the other 9 teams that we've left off are there. Baylor, to me, is a team that's prime. A guy shows up, a couple of winning years, they don't have to report crap. They don't have to do anything. We've seen SMU buy championships before. We've also seen TCU money. There's so many schools that can take 1 or 2 dudes for 1 year and make it that kind of run where it is going to knock the whole thing on its side. We've seen it in the tournament before.
We saw it recently, January 2023, TCU playing for a national championship game with that high-flying offense.
They had Max Dugan playing quarterback. Nobody expected, but that team got there. They got there.
And they lost by 58
They
points.
got pantsed. They did.
58
but they did
points.
get there, and that's just one of the possible 12 teams that show up. You're being short-sighted. It might be initial, but there's a reason why coaches are running, because they see the landscape coming, and it ain't going to be as easy as it used to be.
It is going to be passed around between the same handful of teams, which at the end of the day, that's kind of what happens in college basketball too.
I put Kansas State up there too. Snyder has put together rosters. I'm
telling you
saying
now
that teams can do it for a year.
I'm telling you now, you need to forget that the Big 12 exists when it comes to college football championships. Forget it. They haven't come close.
Your Texas myopia is showing. The world didn't end when Texas leaves.
They didn't come close when Texas and Oklahoma were there.
They did come close. They put out Heisman Trophy winners. They put guys in the league, and they got plenty of money to spend. They're still going to be there.
And they got to the title and lost by 58 points to real football teams.
1 year, yes.
Yeah, the other years they couldn't even get there. I mean, it is. You know what? Let's look at the odds right now. Who do you think of every team in the Big 12 this year has the best chance to win a national title?
This is not about this year. This is over the next 20.
I know, but this is year one of it, right? This is year one
of a bunch of scraggling teams that couldn't recruit because they didn't know where they were going to be playing. So I will forgive this year when you got an Arizona State roster that those guys didn't even know where they were going to be.
Those schools suck at football.
They
always.
do now, but now suddenly you add another $26 million a year. Scottsdale is a hell of a place to play and to live. I'm telling you that the Arizona schools will be back. They will.
You are
now,
insane.
A title worthy, no, but what they do pull is 8 or 10 5-star or 4-star dudes that other teams didn't get. So then it flattens out the playing field yet again. They just got to be average to bring everybody back to them. What I'm saying is it's a far more competitive world than it was, and Saban left not because of the money, but because he knew I can't do what I did.
I think that he did not. First of all, I don't think he liked the NIL, and I think that he didn't like having the control that he was used to having. But I think he also he realized that Alabama doesn't have the financial backing that a lot of these schools have.
That's coming back to, that's called regression to the mean. They're coming back to the field, making it that much easier for the guy across the street, Auburn, to suddenly do it because now even Saban goes, I can't do what I did. The game has changed. And now, like Lincoln Riley ran from OU, you know what? The game has changed. I'm going to go someplace where I'm a little bit more comfortable. And when that happens, suddenly another school pops up. Maybe not forever, not blue blood, but for a year or two, look out. Colorado was a good story to start the year. And they're probably the cautionary tale for what could happen. But the fact remains, you can take a franchise over 6 months and radically change it.
These are your best odds to win the national title for Big 12 schools this year. Kansas State is your best odds at 70-1. Arizona 150-1. Oklahoma State 200-1. Kansas 200-1. Colorado and Texas Tech are both 250-1.
Wow, no love for Colorado.
Yeah, they were 4-8 last year.
Well, I mean, this is
teams
a year
don't
older.
go from 4-8 to winning national championships.
You're right.
They just don't, especially with the offensive lines and that's the other thing. These schools like Colorado, the Flash, and they want to make a statement. The quickest way to make a statement is go find a quarterback, go find a high-end wide receiver. The teams that win championships have bodies on the offensive and defensive lines, and there are 200 receivers every year who can make an impact in every recruiting class. There's about 50 like legit NFL body type offensive linemen, and they all go to the same schools every year.
Remember when Miami was the only school in the Big East, and they played a season of crap, and then were ready to play a bowl game?
Yeah,
they didn't have to be depth. Didn't matter. They didn't have to be that deep. But they were healthy at the end of the year, and they only needed to be one deep, but everybody was healthy because they didn't have to play that hard. I think we're going to run into situations where shallow teams with 5 or 6 dudes are capable of getting there. You don't have to be that deep anymore. You can have 4 losses and still get to the dance, and if you're fully healthy and ready to go, you just got to win 3 games.
That the 2001 national title roster for Miami had like I mean, their fourth running back played in the NFL. Like they were deep, and they were doing things.
Well, that depth is gone for everybody. Nobody will ever be that deep again.
Clinton Portis, Willis McGahee, Najee Davenport, Frank Gore were all on the same team.
That's a wealth of riches we'll never see again.
And remember, that was the reason why Miami was so freaking good was they were NIL before NIL was legal.
Right, but now, but now of those 5 backs, 4 of them are gone.
Sure,
and 4 of them are playing other places. That giving that team suddenly Najee Harris or Frank Gore, whoever it might be, that guy, they're that much better.
Unless the money's right.
Then if the break-even point certainly is the money. But if the money's equal, what about playing time? Then it comes playing time. And at some point, if the money's equal, we're seeing it.
But the money's
juniors leaving.
The money at Texas is never going to be equal to the money at Miami. It's just not.
Well, depending on the positions. I mean, if a team wants a guy, they're going to go get him. We just talked about, they're spending $5 million on their quarterback. That's crazy because they don't have enough money to buy stuff around him to get them any better. But they focused on that. But what happens if next year, name your third string at Texas? Yes, he's set up making $5 million. Across the street, somebody calls and says $7 million. You're going to lose him.
And
he's
by the
going
way,
to go.
That $5 million quarterback that Miami got last year was 5-7 playing in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Like you can't buy wins. It's not as easy as you think to buy wins. Like
I'm Aggie. I understand that.
It takes building, and that takes building through the trenches.
That's the thing that the old coaches have got to get over. The building crap, you don't get time building. You got to have, it's a lot like the rookie. You better have a freshman that can play because they haven't gone anywhere yet. And you better have a senior that can start. That's really the basis of championships now. You don't get to hold the second stringers by the time they're a sophomore. If they don't see themselves starting as a junior, you think they're hanging around? They're gone. And you coached them up for 2 years.
I guess it's going to take 20 years to find out.
Welcome to the basketball party.
It's not going to be like basketball, dude.
I feel like I've seen it before, and it's going to happen again.
2 players can impact. It can change a basketball program's future. It doesn't work that way in college football.
But 5 guys can change a football program. That's 3 more dudes.
When's it happening?
We'll see in the next 3 years as it really comes to play.
We just saw 30 at Colorado, and they won 4 football games.
We didn't have 12 teams in the tournament.
You think they would have done any better when they got to the tournament?
It wouldn't have been Colorado, but we will see teams that have had the transfer portal with 8 guys that weren't there last year, they're this year, that are in the tournament. It'll happen this year.
All right. Let's hit a break. We got some non-sports stuff to discuss. And then, boy, we're going to have a short segment because we got to get to the lines. UFC this weekend, some baseball. Good times coming.
Football.
Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, man, it was a wild day at Cowboys camp yesterday. What's going to happen today? We'll go there and talk with John Machota at 5:15.
At 3:35, the Laurie Markkinen news still out there. Brett Siegel from Clutch Points, the National NBA insider, will join us to give us the latest on the Laurie Markkinen situation. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-205-5350. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-205-5350 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
This Entertainment Insider is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. It's been 25 years since SpongeBob SquarePants made its debut. Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob, knows why fans still love it.
If SpongeBob was nothing but optimistic, that wouldn't be a very good show. So SpongeBob does get down in the dumps. SpongeBob does get discouraged. SpongeBob does feel sad, but he bounces back.
Looking for a career path with flexibility and great pay and benefits? Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today.
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's pretty nice, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renters and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
If there's one sale I'm always going to shop, it's Kohl's Friends and Family Sale. I just saved an extra 25% because I spent $75. But even if you spend less, you can still save with 20%. And Kohl's has everything you need for summer fun. I got a cute dress for myself, a casual polo for my husband, and a ninja creamy that we can't wait to use. Oh, and I earned Kohl's cash. Ah, Kohl's. Your Friends and Family Sale never fails me. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. Offer ends July 28th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. From high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone, including blackjack tournaments. From the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, the Big Blind is locally owned and operated, offering daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 and Redland Road.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Boom. Morning Huddle 94.1, San Antonio's sports star. I like stories about karma. Kevin Knox.
Basketball player?
It's not the basketball player. It's a 33-year-old dude in Kentucky. He was a bad guy. He is a bad guy. He had raped this gal after giving her sleeping tablets. He drugged her and raped her, and she said, "You know what? I'm angry about this, and I'm going to get my vengeance." She's found him on a dating website and said, "Okay, I got a plan." He was going to pay her about $2K to go on this date on an escort website.
Oh, okay.
And she said, "Yeah, I'll meet up." 2 months later, using a different name, but she recognized him. Same website. He's trying to pull this scam again. She says, "Oh, here we go. Yeah, I'll meet you up for this date. Let's go." He poured them both a drink. This time, when he wasn't looking, she swapped the drinks.
The Princess Bride flip.
And then he basically drugged himself. She then drove him to a gas station once he's shown signs that he couldn't handle his drugs. He returned to the empty apartment where he broke in through a window, took a knife from the kitchen. Police found him wandering around in a communal area with a knife. He was arrested, and the same drug was found in his body that had been discovered in his victim's body after the first attack.
Sweet.
I love it.
Now, I would have liked to have thought she would have gone a couple of steps further, like the movies I've seen.
Like a
girl with a dragon tattoo his body like I'm a rapist all over him.
Or like in Pulp Fiction. Like
she could have gone Bobbit.
I'm gonna go medieval on their asses.
She could have gone medieval.
Yeah.
She could have gone Bobbit and taken something with her.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea, but I like it. Good, Kevin Knox. He's getting his druthers, and they don't like rapists in prison.
No, they get their own special wing.
It ain't going to end well for him, bub. I'm afraid to say. We are coming up on a busy weekend of baseball and violence. There's the UFC 304 this weekend. We're going to discuss that in the next segment. We're going to discuss the baseball, and Rob keeps finding a way to win.
Pay attention, fellas. We're up $120 this week.
To win.
We're talking nickel and dime bets, up $120 this week.
What happened yesterday? We said it's Patrick Corbin Day.
I wrapped Corbin a couple of different ways.
And what happened?
Worked quite well.
Dylan Cease threw a freaking no-hitter.
That's right.
Patrick Corbin had one of his best games of the year. Didn't matter. Nationals got 0 hits. Losers. We'll see what losers we can find for this weekend coming up next. We'll do that, and we'll wrap up the week before we head out to Oxnard, California. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
Can I just say this one thing? Alexa, play San Antonio Sports Star. I hope that gets a couple of them going.
Let us know if we just turned on your Alexa.
Ooh, turn on Alexa?
That did not sound the way it was Mac. Where's your Alexa?
Bedroom.
Really?
Yeah, that's where I turn Alexa on.
At least you're turning somebody on in there.
No kidding.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
3 bands, 1 stadium. Journey, Def Leppard, the Steve Miller Band, 3 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons. Their biggest hits Friday, August 16th, Alamo Dome. Tickets on sale now at DefLeppardJourney2024.com.
George gets justice. No amount of money can make up for a life-changing injury. I'm George Salinas, and at George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our team of attorneys will fight to get you the maximum compensation because we prepare and we care. So if you've been injured in an accident, get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's sea to shining sea, and water damage as far as the eye can see. It's freshly mowed grass and a fence that was freshly vandalized by a pack of unruly teens. It's also round-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit ConsumerCellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Hello, San Antonio. This is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our waterfront land sale this Saturday, July 27th, where you can own land in a waterfront community starting at just $49.9. That's right, $49.9. Don't miss this opportunity to own coastal waterfront land priced below market value. Estates with panoramic sunset and sunrise views, excellent fishing, pool, cabana, pier, boat slips, and boat launch. Each estate has paved road frontage and underground utilities. This one-day sale is this Saturday, July 27th, by appointment only. Call now, 210-853-0389. That's 210-853-0389. Call 210-853-0389. For your priority showing, call now. Don't miss this opportunity. Call 210-853-0389.
For your priority showing, call now.
Will CeeDee Lamb show up for training camp or hold out for a new deal? San Antonio Sports Star is live from Cowboys training camp in Oxnard, California, with the answer to that question and others. Team coverage brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Monday morning, South Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Let's go! Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're talking to the break about where Eddie Murphy was from and coming to America. I can't think of it. I forget what his country was called. I know he was Zamunda. That's right. Yeah.
So Zamunda
Prince
is right
Hakeem
next
from
to,
Zamunda.
Is Zamunda next to Wakanda? And where exactly is Zambia in between Zamunda and Wakanda?
I have no idea.
It's all in the same general area.
My map doesn't have this on there.
The Olympics are, like it became a big story a couple of years ago, and I guess it's kind of stuck that there's a lot of sex happening at the Olympics. High level,
Olympic level sex.
Olympic level athletes,
medal worthy,
love to have sex with each other.
The dismounts are spectacular,
and they know that I'm going to meet some gal from Holland. I'm never going to see her again. This is my big chance.
Notice how she pointed her toes.
That's right.
It's all in the artistic flourish that really finishes.
Why is she whipping around this ribbon the whole time?
Ribbon the whole time. That was spectacular.
That was very artistic.
Will somebody come get this ball?
Yeah. What?
I didn't know she could do anything with that.
God, these Chinese swimmers are strong as hell. I can't hold her down. It's like wrestling a gator.
On another note, will someone come untie me? A sidebar. Those cardboard beds ain't what they thought they were.
Well, they do have these cardboard beds. They've called them anti-sex beds. But there's a story here about and was like saying these aren't really anti-sex beds. The cardboard is pretty firm, can handle a significant stress weight of 440 pounds. But the key is these Olympic athletes, they understand you got to use a certain position.
You got to leverage.
You want to spread your body weight over the bed to avoid your pointy bits getting sore, it says.
Science.
Something like missionary, or even better, the spooning sex position will work well
These are
here.
Athletes. You don't want to be confined to a spoon. These These are highly trained athletes.
Alternatively, you can use the bed as more of a prop than a location for sex, which he's basically saying, like, you can just tell her, hey, you put your hands on the bed, I'll take it from here.
There's a lot.
Put your hands on my cardboard bed. I got it from here, girl. Or guy. I don't know what these folks are up to.
I'm down, whatever.
Well, I'm not down for whatever, but I think I'm okay with them being down for whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Do what you want to do.
Do it. It's international diplomacy.
When in France.
Making friends.
Paris, the city of love. Love is love in Paris, they say.
Yes, it is. You see where they started a bunch of fires at the beginning of
that's
closed down the trains?
Yeah, that's way to make your country look good. I think honestly, some of these places they use these Olympics to, like, the elites want the Olympics to be a showcase for the city. The poor people who are being,
priced out,
they want to show like how effed up everything is.
Right.
That was a big thing 8 years ago in Rio.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it was like, yeah, all this looks good, but I got news for you. It ain't good.
And it turns out the people were right.
Yeah.
They were absolutely correct in every one of those assumptions.
And
it
remember,
wasn't good.
The World Cup in Qatar had like they had forced labor, like almost damn near basically slave labor, building these arenas and stuff. It's like it's always there's the behind the scenes stuff is never as pretty as they want to make it look. Ironically, it seems the best living situations seem to come in these Asian countries where it's even China. Although I guess China, like the city that it was in, is all like now waste and ruin.
Well,
but
but they managed to have the same city within 8 years host the Winter and the Summer Olympics.
That's impressive.
I've never heard of such thing.
We don't have a city that could do that.
No.
Well, maybe Denver.
It'd be cool.
Yeah, but generally we're not built for that. But yeah, France. I think there's gonna be some. I mean, it's like all those people were saying we're gonna dump all our poop in the river to show how awful it is. I've got news in the Hawk Tua girl before we get to the Daily Lines.
She's doing well. I haven't been keeping up with her.
She went to watch some fights yesterday, and she went to go watch the karate combat fights, and they said, "Hey, Hawk Tua girl." Haley Welch is her name.
Do we know her?
Yep.
Okay.
Apparently she's from Texas.
What? I thought she was Kentucky.
I think she's a Texan.
Oh, there we go.
They said, "Would you ever want to fight?" And she said, "Yeah." They said, "Who would you fight?" And she said she would fight a gal named JoJo Siwa.
Oh.
Who's a dancer and singer. I don't know much about her.
JoJo Siwa is?
No, I don't.
She is one of the largest influencers in social media for years.
Okay.
She's a young girl. She came out as gay a couple of years ago. But I interviewed her at the Super Bowl a couple of years back. Huge, millions of followers. She'd whoop Siwa's ass, I bet.
You think she would whoop her
I don't
ass?
know. It would be a Jake Paulian thing.
They asked her who she'd fight. She said JoJo Siwa, and then they started saying, "Are you serious about doing this?" A lot of people are saying this could actually really happen. Michelle Watterson, she used to be the #1 atomweight fighter in the world. She fought in the UFC for a long time, just very recently retired. She talked to Hawk Tua and said, "Hey, if you fight, you come out here to Albuquerque and I'll train you here at Jackson Wink MMA, which is one of the best MMA gyms in the country." She said, "Are you up for that?" And she said, "Hell yeah."
Go get paid, girl.
Go get your money. They're going to ask her to do topless fighting. Now, this fella here says that Mike Majlock, who I don't know, I don't know him from anybody. She says that she doesn't want to fight. Hawk Tua doesn't want to fight. And then he said Siwa would smash.
Oh,
Welch.
Here we go. Here we go.
JoJo Siwa is like the Bradley Martin of the female influencer company. I don't know what that means either.
Who's Bradley?
But she's the Bradley Martin of the female influencers. So just be ready for that, Bubba. All right, let's take a look at the daily lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
All right, let's look at the Olympics first as we get started this weekend. I made my commitment. I'm locked in on the boxing. I don't recommend it anymore. That soccer match really did scare me off. But Bakhtir Jalalov, the big Uzbek, I do believe if everything's on the up and up, there's no one in this field who can touch him.
It's a tough bet, though. I mean, the payoff is nominal, but it's a payoff.
Yes. Yeah, and you could always parlay it with something
you'd
else.
almost have to wrap it.
But I do think that he wins and wins handily.
Are you still sticking with tennis and Swiatek?
Yes.
Okay.
That one I'm still locked in on.
Okay.
Iga Swiatek is, again, I don't think a ref can screw her or a judge can screw her. The only fear I have with her is injury. I bet her to win the gold medal at minus 180. I think that it's about the safest bet I've made in a good while. She is so dominant on clay that.
Do they always play Olympic tennis on clay?
No,
or do they
because they're in France.
Oh, that makes some sense. The home of the clay courts. There you go.
So if they were in London, they'd be playing on grass, I bet. But this is where they're at. So that's what they're doing.
So San Antonio would be asphalt. If they're playing in San Antonio, it'd be asphalt.
I'm guessing,
probably New York, you had hard court. San Antonio, asphalt.
Yeah. Okay. Or Caliche.
Caliche probably more appropriate. First time ever on a Caliche court.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man, we gotta make it our own, make it our thing, bub.
Makes as much sense as clay.
That's right. Olympic basketball starts tomorrow. Here we go. USA plays Sunday, but basketball starts tomorrow. Spain, a 4.5-point dog against Australia. You like Germany, minus 18 against Japan. You think Germany spanks that ass?
You're reigning FIBA champions, the Germans.
France, 9.5-point favorites against Brazil. My favorite bet for tomorrow's games is going to be Canada minus 7.5 against Greece. I think there's love that Greece is getting for having Giannis that is unwarranted. I think Canada might be the second best team in this whole tournament. So I think there's value 7.5 there on Canada. Then 2 games on Sunday. Puerto Rico against South Sudan. South Sudan is now favored, minus 1.5. I'm tempted to back Boricua here.
Well, this is it's a pick 'em.
It feels like it's a little disrespectful. South Sudan played the USA close, and people said, "Oh, well, they must be really, really good." The general thought coming into the Olympics was that South Sudan was far and away the worst team that qualified. I didn't see anything outside of them playing Team USA close to make me think otherwise. I think I might like Puerto Rico here. And then Team USA, 10 o'clock, 10:15 a.m. on Sunday. USA minus 12.5 against Serbia.
2 days ago, I'd have been all over it. Right now, I do not like this at all.
I don't know how you can feel good about it, but if you're into that sort of thing, more power to you. The ladies basketball, our ladies play on Monday. The whole thing starts on Sunday. I don't think we care about anybody except Team USA in this one. But they play Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. Monday is their opener against Japan. They are 19.5-point favorites.
They're coming off a loss,
That's true. Thursday, they play Belgium. Again, 19.5-point favorites. And Sunday, they play Germany, 24.5-point favorites. You willing to lay that kind of lumber?
I got to see them again. I'm not going to put any money yet.
Okay. Well, they won't be playing against the same caliber.
No, they won't. Now I just got to see are they worthy of 20 points. You know what I mean?
I think that's kind of where I'm at as well. So if they go out and they put a smacking on Japan, I might risk it against Belgium.
They're going to win. I agree. It's not about that.
On the diamond today, Kodai Senga makes his season debut for the New York Mets. He was a rookie last year, a strikeout sensation. He's got the ghost fork ball that like. Yeah, did you not hear about this last year?
I'd forgotten about the ghost fork.
The ghost fork ball. So he's back, baby, and he's a -130 favorite against Charlie effing Morton and the Atlanta Braves. The Mets are hot, hot, hot. So if you like the Mets, you like Senga.
Well,
pretty short price, -130.
Kershaw, I've got 129. Kershaw looked good after a long rest.
Impressive.
So why not a little bit of the ghost fork?
Very impressive, man. Sonny Gray and the Cardinals, -160 favorites against Mackenzie Gore and the Nationals. Colorado is taking on San Francisco. Two lefties going at it, Kyle Freeland and Kyle Harrison. Left-handed Kyles. San Francisco, a -174 favorite. Two lefties going in the Texas-Toronto game. Andrew Haney going for the Rangers. Yusei Kikuchi going for the Blue Jays. You say Kikuchi, I say Kakachi, -121. People seem to still keep betting on the New York Yankees as favorites. The Yankees continually poke them in the eye and lose, but people still seem to be willing to spend this money.
This is a rivalry game. It's the Sox.
Yes. We didn't talk about this, about the Rockies when they put up 20 runs on the Red Sox. And the Cal Quantrill pointed at this the catcher for the Red Sox and said, "Shut up! You got caught jerking it in your car." And the guy actually did get caught jerking it in his car. That's pretty. It caused a bench clearing brawl.
Now I wonder if you were on. Was it St. Louis? That's where he is now, right?
No, he's on the Red Sox.
I'm sorry, Red Sox. Why are you fighting exactly? What I mean, are you mad at the 20 runs? Are you defending this fool for rubbing one off in the park? I'm not defending that.
I think you're mad at the 20 runs, and then that pushed it over the edge.
No, I'd be mad at the 20, but even then, stop me.
Now, I think
I'm not defending the dude that was rubbing one out in the parking lot.
Well, here's the thing. That happened a couple years ago.
I don't care, even more so.
But if you're down 20 and your catcher gets fired up because someone mouthed off to him about rubbing one off in the parking lot, and now he's going to fight the pitcher. As a baseball player, it's your job to run out of the dugout and
hang
pretend
around
like you're going to fight.
Hey.
That's the job of a baseball player. You run out and you say, "Hey, you're lucky we're not fighting right now. Rawr!
Back up. Hey, get behind me."
And then do nothing.
Come on, gentlemen, break it up.
Yeah, break it up. And then you say, "You're lucky, bitch.
You're lucky this is on TV.
You're lucky the umps broke us up, or I'd have whooped that ass."
And I'm not defending the dude that rubbed one out. I'm pretty grossed out by that, too.
Yeah, he's gross, but I'm
pretty gross.
You're lucky.
The 20 runs, though.
That was BS. That was Bush League. That's Bush League. Boy, this feels like a short number to me. The Seattle Mariners are -156 against the Chicago White Sox, the lowly Chicago White Sox. George Kirby on the hill for the Mariners, who I love. Drew Thorpe, who's a made-up person for the White Sox. I think that might be my move today is the Seattle Mariners. I don't know that you can convince me to bet the White Sox. They don't seem to want to win baseball games. The Houston Astros take on the hated LA Dodgers. Who would have ever thought 10 years ago that the Dodgers and the Astros would be like this heated rivalry?
Well, one of them had to cheat.
Yeah, it happens.
Well, I mean,
both of them.
And the Astros.
And then the other one probably had to cheat too. Yeah. Fromber going to the hill for the Stros tonight.
Big night. This is going to be a game.
-120 against Gavin Stone and the LA Dodgers. That should be a good game.
Yeah, Dodgers feeling themselves right now. Got Clayton back.
Yeah. Got Tyler Glasnow back.
Back-to-back dingers yesterday. So, yeah, this is going to be a tough one for Houston. Good test. Good Friday night game.
Good pitching matchup in Tampa. Cincinnati at Tampa. Nick Lodolo going for the Reds. Shane Baz for the Rays. The Reds minus the road against Tampa, who's selling. Now, this is something I'm kind of interested in, maybe a theory that I've got. I'm interested in exploring. Think about Tampa. They're a team who the last, 5-6 years has been in the playoff mix. They just started the fire sale. They just sent out a playoff hero in Randy Arozarena, a guy who got him to the World Series a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They are clearly waving the white flag on this season. This feels like a time to fade them. Like the first game, especially, is the locker room going to be pumped? Yeah, we got 2 crappy minor leaguers from the Mariners for Randy Arozarena. I can't imagine that they're stoked tonight. I can't imagine that the crowd is very stoked tonight. So give me Nick Lodolo and the Reds minus 106 to get the job done. And then finally, Kansas City takes on the Chicago Cubs. Brady Singer and the Royals minus 140 against Kyle Hendricks for Chicago. Adam Mazur going for the Padres as they try to follow up the no-hitter. Grayson Rodriguez going for Baltimore. So the total in that one is 9. Grayson Rodriguez and the Orioles minus 180. So huge favorites there. UFC 304 tomorrow night. And we've got 2 title fights at the top of the card. Bilal Muhammad against the champion Leon Edwards. I kind of like, now I'm not saying go heavy on this. I think this is a sprinkle. I like Bilal Muhammad at plus 220. I think that's a good dog price for a guy who he was losing the first time these guys fought until he got poked in the eye. They stopped the fight. But Bilal Muhammad is a master of what I call weaponized cardio, which means the longer the fight goes, the better he gets because you get tired and he doesn't. And he's fighting a 5-round fight here. To me, this is a good spot to get him at plus 220. The other title fight, Tom Aspinall against Curtis Blades. Tom Aspinall is a huge favorite. I think he wins by knockout. Curtis Blades, the 4 times he's lost, he's been knocked out. It's been Sergey Pavlovich, Derek Lewis, and twice by Francis Ngannou. Tom Aspinall can bang on the level of those guys. So I'm going to cut the juice down and say Tom Aspinall by knockout at minus 160. And I think my favorite play on the card is this Shauna Bannon, who's an Irish gal. She's fighting a girl who's making her UFC debut, who is most famous for being an OnlyFans model. So she's at, like, when you Google her, the first thing you see is a picture of her ass. So something tells me she's not a serious fighter. She's won 5 fights in a row. So this is her first UFC fight, but she won 5 regional fights in a row. I looked at who she's been fighting. I was watching the film on her. 2 of those 5 fights that she's won came against people who have never won a fight. One of the gals was 0-5. The other one's 0-4. This girl can't fight. Shauna Bannon minus 165 is going to whoop that gal's ass. So there you go. There's my look ahead for UFC 304. Robert?
When next we speak, we will be live from the beautiful tennis courts in downtown
Golden
Oxnard,
Coast.
California.
We'll see you guys then. The Blitz coming up at 2. Morning Huddle, 94.1.
This is the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM